What's up, guys? This is Hyce, and welcome to the February edition of Office Hours with Professor Hyce. I figured this go-around we could just use the leftover questions from January, at least as far as the the unanswered ones, and then take live questions as well. So I'm going to be jumping back in our Discord call here, but today I am joined with a couple friends. As always, we've got Mickley here to help run things, but we also have Tristan and Jake here joining us on the call. So,
hey.
Hi, guys. Hello, everyone.
I have this coin with your signature on it. I'm not sure if I'm fond of the language it uses.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. You're not fond of most of the language I like to use, which is understandable.
Does it have Mark's overly fancy signature?
I'm pretty sure it says "kiss my ass" or something, and then yeah, but it's fine.
No, I still remember that the Hellbot signed symbol though, where like everyone else is like a letter and then a scribble, and yours is all like perfect start to finish.
Hey,
Mark Huber.
You gotta have a signature, and it's not his coin is not signed Mark Huber. It's signed Hyce, but in the exact same fashion. So anyway.
Yep, he's got a big old swoosh on the H.
Try to be fancy, okay? I was prepared for this.
Meanwhile, I just do a giant cursive J and S, and it winds up looking like an H.
That's fine. It's fine.
Speaking of gifts,
I was just gonna say I saw there were some top chats already.
Oh yeah, but I got one of the gifted subs.
Did you really?
So I did again.
Look at him. He's got another month of membership. Oh, that's hilarious. Evil Me, thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. Bandan with another 5, thank you, sir. Piss and Broke of, your name cuts off, I'm sorry, I'm sure it's funny. With another membership gifted, thank you. Oh, goodness. Yes, and then it continues. We'll get to questions eventually here. Piss and Broke Off-Road. Hey, that's good, I like that. Good day, need to go to bed, but this is important, thank you. The VOD will be there as always, so.
That's the same guy that did the one gifted.
Yes, that's what I figured. The official Denver and Rio Grande Western YouTube channel. Yes, the Grand has the first super chat. Actually, no, you don't. You have the second, but thank you. Richard Lintermoot, is that 20 real number plate or a reprint of it? The one behind me, that is a remake made by the Aiken brothers out of Texas. They sold several of them for a fundraiser for the engine, I want to say, and I ended up with one of them. The Dog Man 1.0, Hyce, you're my favorite YouTuber. Just joined as a brakeman. Anyways, don't put a locomotive out of service with poop, and hello. Thankfully, I was not the one that was putting them out of service. I was the one putting them back in service. But anyway, welcome to Office Hours. Let's start with some of our pre-asked questions from January, because, you know.
Can you pin my comment first?
Yes. Yes, yeah. I can pin your comment.
Thank you.
Admin things. Comment pinned. All right, Golden Sniper for you asks, what is the most dangerous train-related thing you've ever seen or been a victim of, like the firebox door closing while you're in there? I
can think of this.
I was going to say, it was when 491 chucked the bit of stay bolt at me, which we've told that story several times on the channel in depth, so I don't know if we need to go terribly much more in depth, but...
Is it still on your desk, or did you put it
I was just looking around for it, and I don't honestly know where it is, and my room's a mess at the moment, so I would show it, but it's somewhere, I'm sure. Anyway.
I was tempted to ask you to bring it to EBT, but I don't know if TSA would have an issue with it.
It's just a piece of iron, and they wouldn't have cared. It would have just been dead weight on my baggage. But anyway, yeah, 491 threw a piece of iron, steel, whatever, about yay big at my face, and thankfully it bounced away instead of through my skull. So yeah. For the sake of a news story in the same vein, probably the second most dangerous thing that I had to do was go in the firebox while it was hot. Not while it was like on fire, super crazy hot, or like a fire was just in it, but the boiler still was like 250 degrees. And I mean, you crawled into the firebox after soaking yourself down, and you're lying on the floor of the grates, and it feels like you're in the hottest day in Florida, like muggy, humid, thousand degrees, but it's pitch black. Yeah, that's not fun. 491's the grate linkage broke, and we had to fix it. and it was like critical for Day Out with Thomas or some event or something. So me and good old Fred did 15-minute intervals, 15 minutes in, 15 minutes out, kind of swapping to try and get a couple pins replaced, and that sucks. That sucks a lot. So there you go. There's a new one. Skag1573. What's your opinion on the up-and-coming game Railroader? Will you play it when it's released, even though it's standard gauge and set on the East Coast? Also, would you be interested in joining one of their Twitch streams? Bupkiss, we're a Railroader. Yes, I'm very well aware of Railroader. It looks very cool.
Did you see the shenanigans?
Which shenanigans?
Go ping where Railroader in general.
Oh no, I did see that. Yes, there's a role for it because silly. Oh, I wish I had. If I was more organized, when I was at EBT, I met Bupkiss, who's he's the CM for Railroader, Matt, as you know him in their Discord, and he gave me a picture of Grand Southern number 42. He's like, "Hey, this is Colorado Narrow Gauge. I knew I was gonna see you," and I was like, "Oh," I was very touched. He's a cool dude, and I'm very excited for Railroader, of course. And yes, we'll play it, and I would love to get on one of their Twitch streams if they want to hook me up with an advanced copy. I'm just saying, I would be happy to pimp that because it looks great. So.
Oh, Jersey would be so sad if you got it before he did.
That would be hilarious. Make Jersey sad, please. It's fun to give him crap. Anyway.
Fun fact about that roll, though, with the Where Railroader, anyone can ping it.
Anyone? God, don't. Why are you so mean?
Because it's funny.
Well, I can't argue that.
Both of the Railroader team that's in the server have that role. So that's Bupkiss and CJane.
Good. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get through a couple more questions, and then we'll start hitting top chat type things, because I've seen there's been at least a couple more.
I think I counted 6.
Great. All right, Squiddy2004. Have you heard the tragedy? I don't know where that accent came from. Of Darth Plagueis the Wise. It's not a story a Jedi would tell you. So yes. On a more serious note, if you made an SN3 ES&D boxcar for you, what prototype car would you want it based on? A Rio Grande 3000 series boxcar, because that's the only boxcar to have. Side note, Zimzam on Discord, I don't know what their real name is or their website is, who's a sweetheart, is actually working on / may have released ES&D decals in HO and SN3 in cooperation with me. He asked if I wanted a cut of the sales or whatever, and I said no. So he's donating some of the sales from that to narrow gauge preservation. So you can get your own ES&D decal sets and stuff, and he's going to be sending me one. So, but I mean, if somebody else wants to make me more SN3 rolling stock, I'm not going to turn it down.
Somebody ping me with where that happened and remind me to put that in the Noteworthy Bits channel.
Yes, do that.
Somebody in chat.
Ping Mickley.
I forget where it happened.
I think it was in Model Trains. I'm not sure. Anyway, Rusty Rails Productions asks, what are the challenges of running and firing a steam locomotive in the rain and snow? A couple things. Less friction, so more slippery. So you end up ruining the fire because you slip. Anytime you slip, you tear up the fire pretty bad. If it's not too bad, you usually kind of kick the sand on and just go, and it's fine. But sometimes, if it's really bad, it can be really crummy. And then sometimes you don't get visibility because you can't see because all the weather, and that sucks. It's not like we have windshield wipers or whatever. The front cab doors actually have like a little cute window that's like that big that opens up called the storm window. And sometimes it's snowy or rainy enough that you've just got that open and everything else is shut. And you're sitting there just looking through the little square going, well, I hope I don't hit anything. Firing, I mean, it's just if your fire gets torn up. And the second question from them is, how often do you fill the tender tank on the locomotives during the day? For the museum, a standard day at the museum, the little engines will take on water sometime early afternoon, get topped back off. They'll be filled in the morning or the night previous. And then 491 will just be filled the day previous. We don't need to fill it during the day because it has 6,000 gallons behind it, and it does not need that much. Okay, let's do some top chat stuff. I think Evil Me was the last one, yes, with the 10 more memberships gifted.
I believe so. You're up to like 10 now.
Okay, well, let's get through them then. Evil Me, thank you for another 10 memberships gifted. Seeing more green names in chat is always fun. Coralie, a fireman for 2 months, just popping in really quick. Got to do an interview for a track worker for CSX in Florida, so luck and advice would be much appreciated. Good luck, of course. Advice, try not to be a super mega foamer in the interview. don't assume you know anything. Just talk about how you're there to do the job right and do it safely. And the railroad gets excited for that sort of stuff. As soon as you try and be like, oh, I know these train facts and things, they can kind of get a little standoffish because they just want people that they can teach the culture and the safety pieces and how things work. No matter how much you probably know about locomotives, cars, track, whatever you're going to do on the railroad, if you haven't really done it, you probably don't know all of the intricacies that you do need to know. And if you come in with the understanding that you already know a lot, it may actually inhibit you from learning what you need to learn. So come open like that. So apologies for any sad nasal sounds. I've been sick all week, and today is like the first day that I've felt decent. I had a sore throat all week. It was not a fun time, but getting better. Anyway, Piss and Broke Off Road. You're the 3 for Big Boy Man. I love it. Bunny 1. Hey, Hyce, while you're out with the EBT, did you get to visit Mount Union? It's definitely one of the coolest places you've been as a rail fan. We drove through Mount Union. We didn't really rail fan it, though, and we didn't look at the standard gauge, but we drove through. Went and got dinner over there. Official Denver Underground Western YouTube channel, Fireman for 1 month, 100 people watching, and only 31 likes. Gotta say, there's a lot more than 100 people watching, actually. There's 250 according to what I can see. But yeah, press the like button. It's important. It helps.
It says 57.
It says 57?
Yeah.
That's funny. It says 250 right now. Anyway. Midland 1072 Productions. Good, sir. Evening, Hyce. Just hope you're having an awesome evening and things are going well. They are. Thank you. Okay. And now it dropped down. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay. There's lots more coming. John Deerboy, commencing the standard crashing of the economy. As always, love your content. Keep up the awesome work. Cheers. Cheers to you. Thank you. Missouri Central and Southern Railroad. How many locomotives have I run? I have run the 3 at the museum, and that's, well, 3 steam engines at the museum, and then the diesels and geese and whatever at the museum. I haven't run anywhere else yet. I have fired at other places, but I've never run at other places. Garrett Zimmerman, your decals should be there by Friday. Excellent. Also, you got hired by the Valley Railroad as train crew and shop crew. Any advice? Same thing. Come with an open mind. Be ready to learn. Be ready to get dirty. Shop and train crew. I mean, it ends up being that way. Golf Bobbert. Brakeman for 2 months. Is the Kentucky RM any good? You kind of want to go. I don't know. ML Productions fireman or engineer for 2 months. Thank you. 20 at the ABT when? Probably never. If it didn't happen in 2019 or whenever they shipped her back from Strasburg to Colorado, it's probably never going to happen. That's a lot of trucking. Joshua Bernay, you need some Crown in that Coke, bud. Thank you. I'm abstaining this evening. Thank you, though. Thanks for all the info on all things Steam. You always look forward to the 101 videos. Cheers. Nick Porter Brakeman. Hey, Hyce, you going live makes your day complete. Well, I'm glad. The Sexy Mantis. It's a great username. Perfect timing playing new save on Railroads Online. It's a modified map where every industry is in the eastern mountain regions, similar to the hardcore map. Not as extreme, quite fun, would recommend. Very cool. Daylight P&W Productions. Have you or anyone ever ES&D at the museum? How many times do we have to talk about Leighton putting Pee-wee in the dirt? Yes, Leighton has. I haven't been a part of a derailment, knocks on wood. I've had to re-rail something, but...
So how exactly did Leighton do that again?
He didn't push the clutch in and ran off the end of track. Because manual transmissions. He was having a bad time and forgot, in a moment of anxiety based on Stromboli being Stromboli, did not push the clutch in and ran off the end of track. Yeah.
I thought he put 346 in the dirt, too.
No, 340. He was pulling 346 with Pee-wee. Pee-wee went in the dirt and stopped. Thankfully, 346 did not go in the dirt. But yeah. William Nimmo, buy you all some more citrus. Mary, that is. Thank you, William. Evil me. Because. Yes. Thank you for the top chat. Jordan Freeman, any plans for trains with a Z? Not yet. I have no plans for that, but soon. Soon. Ride a car over the chain, cough. Jimmy, no one has proof that actually happened, so we're just gonna continue to say that it didn't happen. Anyway, back to the pre-asked questions.
Is this a different Jimmy?
No, that's Jimmy. That is the Jimmy.
From the Cog.
Jimmy
Dusty's
from the Cog. Dusty's friend Jimmy from the Cog. That's him.
Are
Yes.
we ever going to explain that meme?
No. No, that will remain in the lore as unknown forever. So
Lore!
The lore. He's just Dusty's friend Jimmy from the COG. Anyway. Coralie, favorite mixed drink, and if at some point you do videos on local live steam miniature railroads like 7.5-inch gauge and such. The Colorado live steamers reached out to me a month or so ago and said they would love to have me come out this summer sometime. So definitely. And I've got a friend, Scott Miller, down in Florida, who's invited me several times and it just hasn't lined up yet to go film live steam stuff down that way. So that'll definitely happen. Favorite mixed drink. I'm a sucker for a whiskey Coke or a Captain Coke. You want to watch Hyce get a little silly is when the Captain Morgan comes out. It'll be like once a year I will buy Captain Morgan, and just once a year, because any more than that, it's a problem. So that's always an adventure.
The Captain's a good time.
The Captain is a good time. Yeah, so that's a vibe. Anyway. Jack Borner. Got two, actually. We don't even need to discuss the NPC cab forward, but what do you think of the SP's cab forwards? The SP's cab forwards are cool. That's all I know other than the air compressor go. And then let's see. Second one. We also don't need to talk about Dismal Land, correct? What do you think about the narrow gauge roads at amusement parks like Cedar Point, Knott's Berry Farm? If you're wondering, your last name is pronounced Burner. Well, I already messed that up. Sorry, sir. I think they're cool. Amusement park railroads, they probably could use some more regulations if we're being real. But it seems like many of them try in their best effort to keep things maintained well, and they run real steam, like Cedar Point and Knott's, of course, has a bunch of really cool locomotives and cars. And my boss, Jeff, at the Railroad Museum, got his, cut his teeth at Knott's, so it's fun.
He did what to his teeth?
He cut his teeth. Have you never heard that saying? Started. That's where he hit the ground running.
Okay, fun. Shush. Roll with the bit.
No. It's a dumb bit.
Mick doesn't know phrases.
Make a better bit. Okay. Andrew Slater. Have I ever considered graduate school? Would I ever want to become an actual professor of engineering? I've thought about it a couple times. I don't know if the classroom is a true setting for me personally. I basically got done with college with my undergrad and was like, yeah, we're done with that for a long time. It would be cool to have a graduate degree, I think, but it's never been a crazy priority of mine. So maybe not.
I made myself physically ill trying to prepare for graduate school, and so I decided not to do that.
Yeah. Corka Business LP asks, what is your favorite tidbit of trivia about railroading? Favorite bit of railroad trivia? I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite piece of railroad trivia. Like one little nugget that's like, oh yeah, that's a funny thing. The only thing that pops into my head like right away is that stupid thing that's become a meme that's gone around about the fireman sitting on top of the safety valve causing the boiler to blow up back in the 1800s.
Say again?
That's a dumb piece of trivia. Have you not heard about that?
No.
It like was a big meme that went all around Facebook and Reddit because it was like some girl asking some dude in a dating app, like, tell me your favorite train story or something, Mr. Train Guy. And dude was like, oh yeah, there was this fireman that was so thick that he sat on the safety valve and caused the train to blow up. And it, like, you see it as a meme and you're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. And then it turns out that it's actually based in fact in like early 1800s Britain or something, when they had balanced safety valves still that were balanced by weights. He got tired of the safety valve making noise, so he sat on the weight to keep it shut up, and then the boiler failed. So that's actually a thing that happened.
What was the margin of safety on that boiler? Like 1.1?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. They didn't have shit figured out back then. So, anyway. Let me do like one or two more pre-asked questions, and then we'll get into the top chats that I see we're losing ground on. Blackbird Gaming asks, what makes certain steam locomotives louder than others, like 4014 when it actually works hard, or past footage of Frisco 1522? It's about the back pressure, which is the pressure between the exhaust of the cylinder itself and then the blast nozzle, how the blast nozzle's set up, and then how the front end is set up after the blast nozzle. Because you basically have me needing to go to paint. That's what you have. Okay, so we have a choo-choo. And this is a very K-37 proportion choo-choo because reasons. All right. Cylinders, pistons, there. Okay. They go through the saddle, and all of the exhaust steam goes into a little doohickey called a blast nozzle right here, which is basically a choked nozzle that actually creates a normal shockwave. And I mean a literal fluid mechanics 101 normal shockwave that then erupts out through the blast nozzle. And then depending on the kind of front end setup, a lot of locomotives have what's called a master mechanics front end, where there is the stack on top, and then you have the stack extension inside, and then there's what's called the petticoat pipe, which is basically a triangle like that because it looks like a petticoat, because of course that's what we came up with in the early teens. And usually lower down makes things draft better for the fire, so you usually end up with that setup. But basically, the amount of pressure you can build up in between this flow restriction and the cylinder is what back pressure is. So when you see like video game versions of the Big Boy and Challenger, and they've got the back pressure gauge, they're actually measuring steam in this space, the pressure that exists in here, because you actually have so much of a restriction here that you build up that pressure, and it causes that big rocket chuff, the boomf, when the locomotive exhausts each time out the stack. And so depending on the height here, the size of the blast nozzle, the back pressure, the size of the cylinders, being able to supply the amount of back pressure, any other things that go into the front end, whether it's just like this, or if it's just like an oil burner and it's just pretty much straight open, or with like the K-37 where you've got the cyclone front end in the middle that changes things a little bit. All of those little details kind of change exactly why an engine's louder or quieter than others. But really the biggest piece of it is back pressure, what the nozzle setup is, and the distance out the stack. And so that's why some engines will be screaming loud and some of them won't be as loud. But you really only get those conditions when they're working super, super hard.
So why do the large lad and the Challenger have that back pressure gauge? What purpose does that serve?
It's a really easy way to tell how hard the engine's working. You know exactly how much expansion of steam is because you know what the back pressure is, and you know that you're giving steam chest either full boiler pressure or less, right? So you can control with cutoff how much back pressure you have, and the UP actually did a ton of math and a ton of analysis based on what back pressure you should run at and at what speeds you should run at those back pressures, because that back pressure is always going to be trying to cushion the cylinder from the wrong side. So it's always going to be working against you the more back pressure you have. So theoretically, you want it to be lower and lower, but that, means you're also working less hard. So it's kind of this balance of all those different things. And so it was an easy way for an engineer to tell how hard they're running the engine. When I've played like train sim with the Smokebox models that have that, talking with Justin, who's pretty much a UP steam kind of expert, and he's got all of the math and the data from the 4000s and the 3900s and everything. He was able to say, like, hey, they designed this locomotive to run at 30 pounds of back pressure on this chunk of the alignment with that many cars. If you're starting to do more than that, you're going to be wasting steam, or you're going to be using too much steam and you can't keep up. If you do less than that, you're not going to make time up the hill. And so it's a really easy way, without using your ears, to have a gauge on how hard is the engine actually working. So fun things. All right, that's a good question. Let's go to the top chats. Mickley, how far do I need to scroll?
It's about 7 or so. I think about halfway.
I think Evil Me. Yeah. Okay. Evil Me, because Cryface.
You got those two.
Did I? Oh, yes, I did.
Those two were the last two.
Right.
Yes.
Monroe Valley Simulations, fireman for 1 month. So question came up in the shop at the East Broad Top on Friday. Would any K-Class fit through your roundhouse doors? It's a tight fit for the big mic, so you're curious. How big are your doors? The Ks at the Grand are wide. I think 491's 10'8" at her cylinders, and the tender steps might actually crest 11 feet. And funnily enough, I think the K28 is actually the widest of all of them, at a bit more than the 491. I mean, they're close to 11 feet wide. They're actually wider than the big boy. But it's narrow gauge! Yay, Rio Grande! Anyway, so I don't know. I have no idea if it would fit in through the shop doors at the EBT. Maybe not. Luna likes trains. Have you or anyone you know ever money shifted a gas like Diesel Mechanical? Also, you'd love to come play with the 14-inch live steamers at Heston. That would be awesome. I'd love to come out there and see that. I've never seen Heston. I've seen pictures and videos, and it looks neat with all the different gauges and stuff. I've never money shifted the gas mechanical. Most of us don't tend to shift the gas mechanical because it's non-synchronized and straight cut gears. So trying to shift it on the fly is just like, good luck getting it in gear anyways, let alone in the wrong gear. They're challenging to run. So's the Goose. You have to be good at double clutching and stuff to really shift down anyways. So, no. I have shifted on the fly, and I can bang through Pee-wee's gears going around the railroad, and I impressed the world-famous Jeff Taylor by shifting down in the Goose. When we were he had me drive the Goose for the first time, and I was going around the railroad, and it said, yeah, see what fourth is like. And I was coming into the station, and it's like, well, should I shift into third? And he's like, nah, you can keep it in fourth. And it's like, well, I want to try. And I double-clutched the thing and popped it in third nice and smooth, and was like, eh. And Jeff was like, oh, I'm not that good at driving stick. But Jeff doesn't drive stick daily. I mean, every car I've ever owned is a stick, so I'm pretty familiar at this point.
So you did a sweet little heel toe?
I didn't heel toe. I literally just double clutched it.
What does that mean?
Heel toe?
No, double clutching.
Oh, yeah. So with older gearboxes, the bearings are not near as nice, and they're usually with external controls rather than internal controls. So a lot of your bits that make things happen are not lubricated or in the oil bath. And so when you go to shifts, in a modern transmission that's synchronized and everything, it's easier to get into the next gear because it's already kind of pre-shifted with the synchros. And so you're just moving the lever and picking which one you want. And they have nice bearings and everything, and they spin really freely. So you push in the clutch, you disconnect the engine from the transmission, and then when you get out of gear, the wheels are no longer coupled to the transmissions. The transmission's free to just spin, and it'll stay spinning for a while in a modern car, and you need it to be spinning somewhat to get into the next gear to feed it in. But on older transmissions, where you have external linkages and you have less nice bearings and all this crap, and they're not quite as refined, they lose their speed like in an instant. And so you let the clutch out to get out of gear, or you push the clutch in to get out of gear, and by the time that you've gone to go put the shifter into the next gear, the transmission has stopped, and you can't get it in the next gear. So you have to let the clutch out to let the engine speed the transmission back up again, press the clutch in again, and then slam it in gear, and then let the clutch out for a transition. So you have to press the clutch twice, but there's a distinct reason why. So, it's a neat thing.
Okay. I still don't understand, but I don't understand any less than I did before.
Well, hopefully that made sense to somebody who's driven stick. I presume you haven't driven stick then, have you?
No, I understand the clutch thing. I'll just figure it out and figure out why you're pressing it twice.
Because the transmission stops. There's nothing powering it. So it stops. And then you have to have it spin again.
So you put the clutch... So
you push in the clutch.
We understand. You push in the clutch to disengage the flywheel, and then you shift into your gear, and then you let the clutch back out to mesh the gears back together so things start spinning.
Well, that's a normal car, yes.
That's a normal car.
So with this one, you have to push the clutch in, change the gear, push the clutch.
No, you have to push the clutch in, go into neutral, let the clutch out, push the clutch back in, and then go into the gear. Because you can't actually get it into the gear, because by the time that you've got the clutch in, you're out of gear, the transmission slows down so much that you can't actually slip it into the next gear, because the lack of synchronization in the transmission slows down so quickly. And then... I missed
the step about going into neutral, which was why I was confused, because
Yeah, there's a second step there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Trip W07 Brakeman for 2 months. Don't know what to say, so hope you have a good day. It's been a good day. I edited a hilarious video today. I'm so excited. It comes out Thursday.
It's the greatest thumbnail of all time.
It is the best thumbnail of all time. The best thumbnail of all time. In fact, it's so good that I will show it to you live on stream. That's how good this thumbnail is.
He's very proud of it for some reason. I'm not sure why.
It's very dumb. It's very dumb. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. The video is very good. Anyway, Ezekiel with a gifted membership.
It is a good thumbnail.
It's a good thumbnail. I'm excited about it. Oh, it starts with a great picture. I love that picture of that K28 that I got. I still don't know what I did that made that happen. Like, it was just magic. Anyway.
I haven't seen it pop up on stream. Was it supposed to pop up?
It did. It popped up on my end.
Oh, there
Are
it
you
is.
behind? You're behind. Anyway.
So many copies.
It's a copy. Don't you look at my titles. Don't you look at my workflow. It's sad. Evil me. Interesting question. If you ever have to create the most cringe locomotive ever using a combination of current designs, example Shay and Garrett, what would you concoct? Why would you even say that? Why would you do that to me? Why would you
Oh,
do
man.
that? Why not make a Garrett where both the ends of the Garrett are double Fairleys, and the double Fairleys are actually Heislers? No, they're Heislers on the front end, and their climax is on the back end, so the whole thing just goes down the track.
Somebody clip that, please. Thank you.
But at what point do you make it a triplex Garrett?
No, that's too cursed. That's too cursed. Okay. Mickley, do you have a best friend, or are they all equal? They're all equal. I do not have a best friend.
And I didn't have enough characters for that, but building on that, would you prefer Brett or Leighton?
Would I prefer? You're gonna make me pick between those two idiots?
Which one's your favorite?
Okay.
Neither of them.
Would you rather have Brett or Leighton with you on a deserted island? Who are you more likely to survive?
I mean, if we're trying to survive a deserted island, I would pick Brett. No harm, Leighton, but Leighton knows why I would pick Brett.
What? Is Brett like? Did Leighton skip Boy Scouts or something?
Leighton's Leighton. I love them both. They're both very dear friends. I could not pick either of them. If I was stuck in a survival situation, you pick the big scary one who's good at many things. So there you go.
That's fair enough.
Tall and intimidating.
Something. Yeah. Anyway. Missouri Central and Southern Railroad. Is it better to burn wood or coal? Coal. For always. Yeah, there's a reason all the railroads moved away from wood. Oh, goodness. We're almost there. Are we almost there? No. There's still so many. You guys are ridiculous. Tom, how many years do you have to go to school to drive a steam train? 0. Kroom, are unfolded onion boxes the best fuel? In cons trains, yes, they are. Burning boxes in steam locomotives is actually the worst thing in the world, because that stuff, like, the cardboard burns to an extent, and then it just, like, hangs out. It doesn't finish burning, and then, like, you're stuck with this mass of crap. Yeah, it's not fun. Can't recommend.
So, for anyone who hasn't done this, I'd recommend throwing cardboard on a bonfire. Just make sure you're in the desert with nothing flammable nearby, because it's super cool. It gets a bunch of glowy bits,
and then they go
fly up
whoosh.
all over.
Yeah,
it's super cool. But
Yep.
yeah, don't do that in a super flammable area. Go in the desert or something.
Don't do that. It's bad. Quackagate. Brakeman for 2 months. It helped you understand double clutch. Well, I'm glad. Maker 24. Howdy, Mark. Hope life is treating you well. Been busy yourself towing idiots in the snow. I bet you are. Available on Thursday or Fridays. You still need to have that drink. Also, breaking economy incoming. Thank you, sir. Thursdays and Fridays. Thursday nights I'm usually busy. Friday nights usually decently open. So, yeah. Just shoot me a message on Discord. And if I unfriended you for some reason, because there was a mass culling of friends on Discord just because the amount of messages was like ridiculous, add me and I'll add you back. So, yeah. And with 50 memberships gifted, good heavens, thank you. Or I've run out of cameras to put names on. I'm gonna have to put your name on something else. The economy's gone. Okay. Why would you do this to me, Jake? Jake, why? Literally, you're right here. You don't have to do this. Stick Stuffed Machine Gaming, the $2 top chat. Geared Triplex Vauquelin Compound 3-cylinder Garrett. No. How do you have Vauquelin No, just stop. Stop. Cease. Night Fury King, about as cursed as buying a Class 70 in Railroads Online and naming it Kenosha and numbering it 346. Yeah, that's pretty cursed. Blues Crew. Yes. In the immortal words of my grandfather, teaching my mother how to drive stick shift. The clutch disengages the engine from the transmission. Yes, I said it. My mom always tells me this story. When she was learning to drive stick with my granddad, Choo Choo Bob. And that was all he would say. Like, first time trying to drive the car, and all the whole briefing on the clutch was the clutch disengages the engine from the transmission. How dare you be a 16-year-old girl and not know what that means? Oh, good God.
Just under that, we have a comment from Brillbus.
Brillbus.
It disconnects the go from the wheels. That's it.
It does. Take it easy, Brill. Thanks again for the time at the Rock Hill Trolley Museum. That was awesome. You'd rather checking off bus part refurbishment projects than taking afternoon naps. I definitely understand that. Good luck and Godspeed.
And with that, we're caught up.
Oh, look at that! Back to the questions. Actually, do we have any good live chat questions?
I got a good half a dozen.
Yeah, let's do some of those.
First one, do we want to advertise first?
Sure, why not?
All right, here we go. Advertise, subscribe. You have to say it too, Mr. Markman.
Oh, I thought I was just gonna let you do it. Yeah.
No, you have to participate.
Click the Discord, smash the bell, press the thumbs up like button.
Yes, we will smash all the expensive bells.
Smash the bell! Dong! Oh, God. No thanks. Okay. Anyway. Yes, that. Do that.
If you haven't ever rung a big bell, Mr. Markman, if you hit it really hard, like, legit, your arms vibrate.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I've never rung a big bell. I have rung a 38-inch symphonic gong. Ooh. And that's fun. Fun thing about gongs, almost any video you've seen with a gong in it is probably fake. Because almost everyone that plays a gong, or like, oh, you hit the gong and it just goes boom, it's all wrong. That's not how gongs work. Gongs actually need to have some amount of resonance established so that when you hit them, then they actually make the big gong sound. So if you just like beat the crap out of a gong, just hit it out of the blue, it will not make any sound. It'll try and fall off the stand. But if you lightly tap it a couple times so it starts vibrating, then you hit it, then you get the big sound. So anytime you've seen it in the music video, or like someone's live and they got a gong and they hit the gong, oh yeah, it's dubbed. So absolutely dubbed, because nobody ever actually plays them correctly. Fun fact. Anyways. Question.
Hey, live question from Christopher Mobley. Are you going to make a video on the East Broad Top?
Yeah, probably like 6, actually, if we're being real. Yeah, many.
My money's on 7, actually, so...
we, for the reasons of 7! And, yeah, probably.
Second, let's do 3.
Sure.
From Delharath02. I'm going to begin volunteering at my local heritage railroad on the steam crew. Any advice for working on a large steam engine? 282.
Learn from the folks that already do it. Have some spare rags handy. Have some safety glasses. Make sure you got your PPE and be ready to get dirty. Come open-minded, ready to learn, and ready to do whatever, and mind the skin about the hot bits. A lot of hot stuff in there. Usually, I mean, long sleeves and longer gauntlet gloves or gloves, you know, you'll usually be pretty good, but steam engines find a nice way to kiss you right when you've got a little exposed skin, so always keep that in mind.
Speaking of, just extra question from me there, do you have any brand of gloves that you'd recommend, or like a specific type?
Nope.
Because like, I always see everybody and they always have like the same gloves.
The museum provides gloves.
Oh.
So we all have the same pair because we provide gloves and safety glasses as standard. You're going to be on train crew or whatever. at least in the engine. I don't exactly know how they get doled out. That's a Jeff Dusty thing, but yeah, they're just leather gloves. Don't have, make sure they're leather. I mean, don't have any kind of poly, whatever, anything that would melt. So, yeah. I used to, when I started firing originally, I had like kind of long gauntlet welder's gloves that were pretty nice because they would keep your wrist protected. Because, yeah, in the polar season, I actually had less hair right around my wrists from firing, just from that one spot that would go, they'd get singed off putting coal in the back corners of the 91. And then, of course, 346 with her perfectly placed oil can shelf and perfectly placed hydrostatic lubricator. You'd go to grab an oil can, you'd bend your arm to grab it, and then you'd lift up the oil can straight into the world's hottest copper line, and then, yeah, there you go. Swanton Pacific's got a good answer. Leather gloves that aren't too snug, so that if they get too hot, you can throw them across the shop. So,
Okay.
Anyway.
Last one on the live questions, then before we move back to the others.
Sure.
Tweetsy Railroader says, "Evening, Mark. Question: thoughts on the Tweetsy, specifically about the ET and WNC Railroad, not necessarily the theme park. And this is asked by several other people, do you have any plans to visit Tweetsy in the near and or far future?"
I would love to come out and see it. I don't know much about the history of the railroad. In fact, all I really know about the Tweetsy is that it's 3 foot. It exists in East Tennessee and maybe made it to North Carolina. I'm not sure. And they had 3 foot gauge, and they are the poster child of 3 foot gauge 10-wheelers because Bachman Big Haulers.jpg. That's about all I got. But it's a cool looking railroad. I'd love to come out and see it. I don't have any direct plans. I mean, we've been kind of scheming on a larger scale East Coast tour for quite some time, but it's a question of funding and all that sort of stuff. So
I think Jersey might know some stuff about Tweetsy. I'm not 100% sure on that one though.
Probably Jersey somehow knows things about way too many railroads. I don't.
Everything.
I do not actually fathom how that child knows that many things about that many railroads at that level of depth, despite being 18. So
yeah, he's kind of insane.
Good for you, Jersey. All right, let's catch up on top chats, and then we'll go back to the pre-asked questions here. Midland 1072 Productions, favorite memories from the EBT and favorite moment from Blues Brothers. EBT was great. I mean, my favorite moment, like for me, big scale of like specifically with the railroad, was seeing the shop. Seeing the machine shop at the EBT. I mean, we've got me on video. It's like, oh yeah, let's go take a look at the shop. And they open the doors, we walk in, and I just like look around and just go, holy shit. I mean, that was like the coolest shit I've ever seen. So that's gonna be a great video when that finally comes out. But
I think we all kind of jaw dropped walking into that shop.
That was incredible. I mean, it's God. You're going to hear me talking about how the Durango and Silverton is so cool because it's the original locomotives in the original location and the Rio Grande stuff on Thursday when that video comes out. But the East Broadtop, man, the East Broadtop like wins the railroad is still here 70 years later. They win that, man. That's so freaking cool. So yeah, other highlights, I mean, getting to stay at the house with all you guys, the jam sesh was super fun. Just meeting everyone in person. Literal limes. I met Mickley in person, and I opened the door, and then I literally got a lime to the chest that was violent. As the first interaction that we had. So,
oh hey, look, we summoned Jersey.
Yeah, hey, hi. I saw someone in the chat mention that I'm 18, and it's like, well, I mean, tomorrow that changes. Something.
Oh, it's your birthday tomorrow?
Dude, why the fuck do you think I asked you to be on my stream tomorrow?
Oh, well, I don't know, because you've asked me on your stream a couple times. Yeah, that's why we're doing this tonight, because I didn't want to try and be in the way of your stuff tomorrow. So
yeah, thanks, buddy.
Anyway,
happy early birthday, Jersey.
Happy early birthday to Jerseys in the chat, because we want to have a Hyce stream tomorrow. Anyway, other than that, for the EBT, seeing the M1 and getting a personal interview with Courtney, who runs the M1. That thing is so cool and so weird. That was awesome. Southern Valve Gear is weird. 16. Yeah. And then the favorite moment from Blues Brothers. I loved towards the end when they had like the chaotic shots like back and forth of like the two dudes like calmly walking, getting in the elevator and stuff, and then it pans out to 1,000,000 cops and paratroopers and people just and then just back to calm Blues Brothers, and then back and forth, and it's great. And then of course all the songs too, because I've played like half of those songs because we covered Blues Brothers stuff. Jordan Freeman, another super chat. Ace brought up video when Nick can finish editing them. Well, that's the real answer. Nick's been
and that was
busy.
Nick with an N, not me.
Nick, yes. Nick Ozerak, who I actually got to shoot with in person at EBT. I am so excited for all that content. Good God, it was great working with him, having him be like an actual director and having the shots kind of lined up in his head and then figuring out what it would turn into. And it felt like it was going to turn into an episode of Top Gear kind of presentation. So I'm really excited to see how those turn out. He's got all the footage and stuff. I got to actually send him some dubbed stuff. But it's probably going to be a couple weeks still because, I mean, the amount of time that it takes to put that stuff together is significant. So,
speaking of, can you send me, or have you already sent the B-roll footage? I wanna get that in so we can get the videos out for the conductors and whatnot.
No, I have not uploaded any of that stuff anywhere. I can do that. We can get into that.
Yeah, sometime soon-ish, TM, and then we'll wait a couple weeks for get them sent out.
It's fine. It's fine.
You'll have videos soon enough. It's okay.
We'll get there. Okay, the Durango and Silverton video from 2.5 weeks ago is coming out on Thursday, okay? I guess 2 weeks ago. Whatever. We're slow here, okay?
Wait, it is good video.
Yeah.
I want.
Anyway. Yearly Gymnast 98. Another month as a pyromaniac. Fireman for 3 months. Yeah. Another few questions. What are the most reliable parts of the Steam Loco? What is the story of Dusty's friend Jimmy from the Cog? And how have you been, Mr. Huber? Man. Okay. Most reliable parts of the Steam Locomotive. I mean, they're actually all relatively reliable. If you had to pick one thing to be reliable, if you take care of a boiler, the boilers do really well. If you treat them and you take care of them, fire them up slowly, knock on wood, the boilers don't tend to need too much. The running gear always takes a pounding, like no matter what. And appliances and stuff get weird. Like you spend most of your time dealing with weird appliance crap on steam engines. If you don't take care of the boiler, it's not the boiler, but you know, if you keep it in good shape, they tend to do pretty good. What's the story of Dusty's friend Jimmy from the Cog? We're gonna save that one. We'll get to that one maybe someday. But yeah. And how have I been? I've been sick, man. Yesterday, God, the worst day for me was like Friday. I had the worst sore throat. It was awful. And then yesterday I was kind of, and then today I've been feeling a little bit head coldy, strange, weird still. But not too bad. So I wasn't at the museum most this week. I went in on Wednesday after getting back from UBT, and that was it. So it's been a strange week, but hey, it's been fun getting rest up and all that stuff. K-Man Kai, thank you for the super chat. Hyce, take a Dutch oven and make a quiche in 491 or the 20. You think it would work? I'm sure it would. I've never made a quiche before, so that sounds tasty. We should try that. Thank you for the super chat. True Nub Gaming, you humbly request more cowbell. If my cowbell was not in a storage closet out in the backyard, I would humbly play the cowbell for you. But unfortunately, it is, in fact, in a storage shed in the backyard. I need to get my drum kit set up. Anyway. Evil Me. Another super chat. Because you want to. How about a locomotive that's coal-fired turbine generating electricity for an electric boiler to run a triple compound triplex, but cab forward with an Alco PA nose?
A what now?
I got to the end of that sentence and just the phone off the hook sound just started playing in my head. Like my brain literally broke at the end of that. No. Just no. Oh goodness. Okay. We're almost no, there's still so many. You guys are all wonderful. Except for Evil Me, because that was evil. No, he's wonderful too. They are wonderful too. Piston broke off-road. You're heading to bed. Good night. Thank you for joining us. Missouri Central and Southern Railroad. If you had to choose one to save from the scrapyard, would you choose Peaches or 20? Don't you do that to me? Don't you do that to me? I mean, realistically, 20 would be easier to move. And 20's, I mean, there's only one of 20, and there's many K37. So I guess I'd have to pick 20, and it would break my heart. But it would break my heart to have to pick either of them. James Buckner, yes, it made it to Western North Carolina. Okay, so it did do its namesake. Boo Mario! Keep up the cool videos. Also, EBT is cool. Yes, it is. Thank you, thank you. The B-Man. The B-Man. Well, the way you've capitalized it, it goes the B-Man instead of the B-Man. But anyway. Fireman for 9 months. Your coworkers think it's weird that you went all the way to Pennsylvania to hang out with all you and watch choo-choos. They just don't understand the fun. Yeah, believe me, dude. When I worked for BNSF, that should be a drinking game for the live streams and for videos. When I worked at BNSF, there you go.
Oh, no.
Dies. When I worked at BNSF, and I would be like, oh yeah, I'm going on vacation. They're like, what are you doing for vacation? You going to the beach? You doing whatever? I was like, no, I'm gonna go shovel coal into a steam train. And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, lots of things. Yeah, they never got it. Actually, some of the guys did get it towards the end. They figured it out. And they were like, you're not like a super foamer. Like, you just like the steam trains. That's weird. And I'm like, well, I mean, you've met me, right? Anyway. Nazu, you've always wondered, but are there any tank engines from the narrow gauge that still exist and or operate today? It's one of your favorite type of locomotives. You don't see them very often. I'm sure there are some. I've seen videos of little Porter tank engines on narrow gauge running around. None of the stuff from the Grand or the RJS survived. There were tank engines. They got rid of that crap early. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know of like specific examples, but there are some. Thank you for the super chat. Frederick Grassic, or Grassich, perhaps. Perhaps he's from Old Country. Welcome to the Conductors. John Deerboy again. Story, to the best of your knowledge, about when the DNRGW wrecked the DMNIR 224 and sent all of the M4s back after calling them the finest engines that they had ever run. Oh, man. Yeah, so what John Deerboy's talking about, thank you for the super chat, is the Duluth, Mesabi, and Iron Range had Yellowstone locomotives, 2884. Big honking articulated engines. Actually more powerful than the big boy. Ha 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 ha, big boy, tee-hee. And the Grand had leased them because up in Duluth, up in that area, I mean, they literally couldn't run the railroad in winter because it was so bad. And so these engines sat around in the winter unused. And so the Grand was like, hey, we need more power. You guys aren't using these in the winter. Let's do a thing. I'm not sure who proposed the thing, but anyway, the Rio Grande ended up using those engines on their railroad in the wintertime, and then they would trade them back for summer usage, and they loved those engines. Right up until when they didn't. And so they wrecked the shit out of the 224, as John Deerboy points out. And so basically what happened was they lost the ability to make air for some reason. The pumps broke, something broke, and they could no longer make air. And power reverse, which is what allows a bigger engine that doesn't just have a Johnson bar, they have a reverser control. It's what allows an engine like that to go forward, reverse, or whatever, relies on air, and so do the brakes. And almost every locomotive with power reverse has a yellow valve that's a triangle that is the steam override to run the power reverse off of steam pressure instead of air pressure, so that if you lose air, you could at least haul the engine into reverse, pop the throttle open, and then back pressure your cylinders and slow down, stop that way. Well, the Yellowstones didn't have that. And so they lost air. They couldn't use the brakes. They had no way to set up brakes. They had no way to bring the engine into reverse, so they're stuck with it in forward. They just got to ride down the mountain until the thing came off. And it came off on like the last curve on the hill, and it would have flattened out and gone back to, standard track or whatever, or straight track, and track that it would have negotiated. And so had they had the steam override, they could have hauled it into reverse, probably saved the train. But no, it went it went rolling over, and it was a bad day. So yeah, the Grand then proceeded to say no more because they had that one issue with it, and they had so many, so much worry about that because litigation and people breaking people's choo-choos. Like, they just didn't want to mess with it. So nice engines, but with a fatal flaw. Yeah.
So I heard vaguely, or recall seeing somewhere, that there was an amount of speed that you could limit the locomotive to if you had the bar all the way forward. Is that true? Or am I just hearing nonsense?
I mean, if you're running under power and like going uphill, theoretically you would get to a point where when you're in the corner, when you're all the way forward, the valve has what's called lead built into it. And usually when you are in far forward settings, the lead is more exaggerated so that you can start cushioning the piston on the backside of its stroke before it's finished with the power stroke, so that you don't send the piston through either head. And so running at a certain speed, you end up with that force counteracting you so much that you theoretically would come to an equilibrium. But the reality of it is you're beating the crap out of all of the valve gear and everything to keep an engine running fast when it's all the way forward. Like, you want to hear a pissed off, crappy sounding locomotive, leave it in the corner and get it running fast. They sound like shit.
Okay, it's not a valid strategy to slow down a locomotive.
God, no. If you're going downhill, man, gravity's a bitch. Putting it in forward will help stop you just as much as falling out of an airplane with no parachute. Yeah, you're hitting the ground, bud. You're done. There is no mythical QMA programmed. Oh yes, it's stuck to this speed now. So anyway.
Like I said, just something vague I remember hearing that didn't sound quite right.
Well, you're correct. It's not quite right. Jordan Freeman, you and Nick are both on the train's discussion forums. You go over there and bug him to get him to hurry up. Don't give Nick a hard time. Nick is a busy man. Do not bug Nick about needing to edit my videos. We have a good working relationship, and I like the way that we work out. He's got lots of stuff on his plate. I got lots of stuff on my plate, and at the end of the day, he is an expensive man to fund. So I'd love to be his sole. If he was just the editor just for me, that would be great. But we're not at that point yet. So someday. Anthony Marino, how's the GTO? You've got a 76 Mustang Cobra 23024 on the floor, about to get ready for spring here in eastern Pennsylvania. I'm waiting for spring right there with you. It's been snowing about once a week the whole winter, so I haven't had the cover off the damn thing since October. So it's been a minute since I've had GTO time, and I really I need to take one of the A-arms off really before I drive it a bunch more, because some guy who rebuilt the suspension, who didn't know what he was doing when he rebuilt the suspension, may not have put the cap washers on and might have had some of the bushings start to back out a little bit. It's fine. So yeah, I should probably go take care of that. Anyway, so GTO's doing fine. It's sitting undercover. Joshua Brown with 10 gifted memberships. Thank you. Corey Gibson, gonna get any music making videos again? Check out the second channel. There's 4. I guess we haven't talked about making music. We've talked about stuff behind songs and things. But yeah, we'll do some of those on the second channel, not on this channel. Hyce Studio, if you haven't checked it out, there's some fun videos about music things in there. True Nub Gaming, message retracted. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for the top chat. Iona Leonte? I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce that. I don't recognize that last character either. Welcome to the Fireman. Evil Me. Oh god. Now you have to Photoshop that concept and put it on Discord. Maybe you'll 3D print and build it in O-scale to send to you. If you commit to the bit that hard, I will put it in my backdrop. I will hate it, but I will. If you commit to the bit that hard, I will put it back there. William Grantham, ES&D engineer, member for 9 months. Good day, good day. Just finished up work for the day. Coming home to the stream is an excellent surprise. Surprise! I'm glad. True Nub Gaming, 20th best girl. Don't tell Peaches she's the jealous type. They're all the jealous type. Have you met steam engines? Why are you asking the same question over and over, everyone? Missouri Central. Oh, sorry. We have a choice of 4 engines now. Missouri Central and Southern Railroad. I'm going to ban these questions from the stream. If you had to save 191, 346, Peaches 20 from the scrap, which one would you save?
Yes.
Oh, God. If I had to pick between one of the 4, it would probably have to be 20 again. Just for the rarity's sake. There's only 20. There are still 2 of 346's sisters. There are plenty of Peach's sisters. 191 is a class 56. Yeah, saving the operating engine, that means a lot. I mean, they're all so important to me. Like 346, I probably have the strongest connection with. And the museum has the longest connection with. But I mean, if that was the option... Stop asking those questions. They hurt my feelings. Garrett Zimmerman, your wife agreed to you using most of the money you make working for the Valley Railroad for your 7.5-inch gauge East Broad Top 17. Should get the driver's cast this summer. That sounds kick-ass, dude. Good luck.
That does sound really cool.
That will be really cool. I'd love to see Southern Valve Gear in miniature. Neon Xenos upgrading to Conductor. And James Buckner joining the Brakeman. NEA Farm Kid, here's a little something for the Mystery Citrus Fund. Good, thank you. One quick question for you. Has the Coom Race and Toltec decided which K-37 they plan on rebuilding yet? Yes, 492. That's been confirmed for a couple months. Woo! If you don't dive into the commission meeting notes, your meeting minutes, you probably haven't heard, because I don't know if they've really done much press about it, because they haven't really started on it, because they've been dealing with, I don't know, all of the other mouths to feed stares at all the other K-37s or K-36s. So, yeah, 492, and it's going to burn coal. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, we still have some more top chats to catch, but thinking of all the other K-36s made me think of one of my favorite Jack Campbell stories that I don't think I've shared on the channel, so I'm going to share that. Okay, so Jack Campbell was my boss's boss when I started at the museum. He worked at the Coom Race and Toltec as the CMO in the 1990s. Really smart dude. Kick-ass machinist, really funny, eccentric kind of guy. He has my kind of humor and fun, and he's enjoying retirement in Florida, last I heard. So if you're out there, Jack, cheers to you. But they did the big photo shoot the first time. They had 5 of the engines hot and under steam, and they had 4 K-36s and the 497, and they had them all under steam and lined up outside the shop in the yard for a big photo shoot. And there's pictures of it from the 90s and whatever. And they're moving the engines around, putting engines away. And as they're putting engines away, Jack's walking down the track and comes across a giant piece of hub liner. And the hub liner is what limits the lateral on the drivers between and the counterweights between the counterweight, the driving box, and then the driver. And so it's an incredibly critical component for going around turns and riding down the railroad. And there's just like a giant chunk, like, you know, huge, substantial piece just lying in the gauge. And there's the 5 engines all lined up, and Jack just picks up the piece of hub liner, looks at the engines, and just goes, "Which one of you did this?" And so they had to bring the engines one by one over the pit, shine a flashlight up, and figure out who shit the hub liner. I don't remember which engine it was, but they had to, you know, drop the driver out, fix the whole fucking mess. And it's just like the one day that they have literally all the engines switched out, one of them breaks this, drops it, and you have no idea who, because it was on one of the throat tracks that they had all run over. And this was one of my favorite dumb moments. Just Jack holding his cursed totem of broken locomotive. Anyway.
That's a good story.
Official Denver Underground Western YouTube channel. Screw the tank engines and the DMNIRs. Well, I mean, that's what the railroad said, so. Neon Xenos, promotion was inevitable. Thanks for the grand content. Also, you're considering starting your own podcast/YouTube series. Where should you start your research? Well, it depends on what you're going to talk about on your podcast or your YouTube show. Find your niche, what value you can add and then do the research in the right place. If you want to talk about train stuff, I mean, find the best place and find the best historians or people for whatever topic you want, and interface with those people. Because if you can get the baseline of knowledge yourself, and then you can ask the higher level questions of the guys who really know this stuff, they will talk to you all day long. You know, like people like me, if someone asks a question like, where does the coal go in the steam engine or something, I will happily answer it and whatever. But it comes off as, okay, well, you're asking me baby's first train question. If somebody asks me about what does it mean to have square valve gear or something, it's like, oh, we could talk about this for a couple hours. Yeah, you know some things. Let's chat. So anyway, make sure you can get that sort of level of knowledge first, and then ask the right questions. So, oh my God, I said you'd do that to the GTO. Clown, I didn't know any better. I'm sorry. I'm a bad kid. We'll make that video at some point. Evil me, challenge accepted. Oh boy. Eventually we'll get back to questions. Sorry for the Hyce abuse. Well, thank you. Heck you puts A1 whistle on 491. Don't do that to me, Demos. Andrew Scullage, if you could make it so one engine never existed, would you? I don't think so. They're all important in history.
Not even the Fairleigh?
Not even the Fairleigh. The Fairleigh's important. It's stupid, but it's important. That one, Caledonian 812, is the DNRGW 50 operable, and is it the basis for that small blue diesel in TF2? It is not operable right now because the clutch is actually out on it. It needs to be ground down because it's stuck. So it's actually stuck in gear, and that's a terrifying beast to have stuck in gear. We'll get it back in service soon enough.
Is it fast?
No, it's just got torque for centuries.
Oh.
And not being able to get that out of gear, you're not going to stop it. Yeah. And yes, it is the basis for that small blue diesel in TF2. Garrett Zimmerman, you're not looking forward to making Southern valve gear. I'm not surprised. That's strange. Corey Gibson, what engine do you think is prettiest? Not necessarily your favorite. You like the Mallard's lines and livery. Prettiest engine. I'm a big fan of the 4449. The Daylight GS4s. Woo! If I have to pick a prettiest choo-choo, I'm probably going to pick those ones. Nathaniel Banks, welcome to the Fireman. Digital Grid Music. I just wanted to pop in again, show some support. Love these chill streams paired with late night snacks. Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh my God, we've made it. We've made it to the end of the top chats. Back to the question.
Hang on. Z Photography wanted to know how you like the pictures on Facebook. This isn't Colorado.
Oh, those were funny. Zion Photography's ones. He's got me doing my best John Travolta. Yeah, that's very good.
I saw those on my feed, and I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
Hey, I know that guy.
I didn't know the guy who was posting them. I'm like, dude, so who was this that we saw? Who? When was he making this pose? Who was taking the picture?
There were many people we ran into at the EBT.
Yeah, and lots of them took pictures.
All right. Jordan Freeman with a couple of questions here. Do you think the job of being an engineer or fireman would qualify as a dirty job? Yes. Reason why is you're a big fan of the TV show Dirty Jobs. Always wanted to see Mike Rowe shoveling coal. I think he did an episode on a steam train. I vaguely recall that from my childhood.
I'm looking it up.
Jordan Freeman again. Are you planning on joining the Trains Railroad Simulator community? Been playing it for 20 plus years. Been on the discussion forums for 10 years. Making content for 10 years. Mostly Roots. Former member. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have time to play train games other than for YouTube right now. So I'd love to play trains. I played a crap ton of it when I was a kid, but yeah.
I have the answer.
Yes.
It is Dirty Jobs Season 5, Episode 7, called Locomotive Builder. Mike heads to Motive Power in Boise, Idaho to build and restore locomotives for his 200th dirty job.
Huh. Well, that Motive Power makes diesels.
I don't think it's steam.
I thought he did an episode of Steam Train. I don't know. Maybe not.
He's the only one that comes up with train in it.
Well, then maybe he didn't. How could he not? Anyway. Ronan Vave, how human would you describe a steam locomotive compared to other machines? Steam locomotives are like the most human machine I've ever encountered. They do all sorts of strange things. They make all sorts of strange sounds. They don't feel mechanical are like methodical in nature. There's a lot of things that are rhythmic or whatever, but they will do weird things. Like the air pump will ask a question. Anyone who's heard an air compressor on a steam engine for long enough has heard it ask a question, and they know what I mean. Like, these are the weird human things that steam engines do. Yeah, so cross compound usually goes boom, bah, boom, bah, boom, bah, when you're pumping up the train. And you'll be sitting there, and they've got a little cold weather hole drilled in the governor or whatever, so that they always cycle, regardless of what the air pressure is. Every 30 seconds, they'll do a boom, bah, or whatever. And invariably, they'll just stop and go, boom. And you're just like, what? Like, it has the inflection of a question statement to it. Boom.
Does it just not cycle all the way?
It just does one, and then it'll give the second one later, and you're always just like, you're wondering, is the second one going to be a pah, or is it just going to go pah? Like, the cross compounds do that. The single stages don't do that, but the cross compounds will sit there, and I've heard it with 491 all the time. Just like, you're sitting up top, Polar Express, waiting to be called down to come pick everyone up. And it's, boom.
Is this because they're only on when you need more pressure?
Yeah. So I mean, you're at main res pressure, and so it's just getting this little trickle of steam, and it's just enough to kind of get it to half cycle, and like there's a reason for it, but it's like they do all sorts of weird little shit like that. It's like this does not make like a mechanical sense. This does not make I expect the same results out of when I press on the gas pedal in my car every time. Vibe. Like, they don't feel mechanical in that way. Obviously, they look very mechanical with the rods and everything, but like the little extra sounds. 346, you would stop her for the day, you'd tie the brakes down, you'd let her sit there, and her snifter would start to fucking vibrate like she's snoring. And you're just like, well, there's 346, 140 years old, and she's sawing logs over there. Just like, what? Or 491, before the safeties got rebuilt. And you're sitting there and you're listening to the safeties feather, and you know, someone's like, hey, you should put water in the engine. I'd be like, no, it's fine. And they're like, really? Your safeties are gone? I'm like, no, it's fine. They haven't started mooing yet. And then you would get to 196 PSI or whatever it was right before it'd pop, and the safety would start going, and you're just like, oh yeah, she's at that pressure now. Okay, we'll put some water in. Just like, yeah, they're very human. They're very strange. So anyway, a couple more questions, and then I'll go back to the top chats. Chris the Rail fan, do you have any experience playing trains? We've been over this a little bit today. Yes. If so, what you rate the game as? It's a lot of fun for building routes, and the industry system was a lot of fun in TRS 2004 and 2006, but those were the last ones I really played. So, David LeBrant, working for the railroad, what was the part that broke down the most? Well, what era of railroad, I guess, is the question. Like, steam versus diesel, it's a very different thing. Steam engines, it's like water glasses, feed valves, air compressor governors. Those are the ones that tend to get screwy the quickest. Diesel locomotives, God, like on the EMDs, it was starters. On the GEs, random little electrical components that you would not think that are important, that are very important, basically. Oh yeah, it doesn't load. Why? Because Doodad XYZ broke. Oh great. Do we have another one? No. Cool. Anyway. Let's see. Last one on the pre-asked questions, and we'll go back to top chats. The Gen, I'd love to understand, why does having trailing wheels and or guiding wheels make the drive wheels more or less efficient / alter the tractive effort? They do nothing to the tractive effort. They do change the adhesion. You need to have the right amount of weight on drivers for the amount of tractive effort you have. So tractive effort, the railroad simplified it out to try and make it as easy as they could to break it into parts. The boiler, size of wheels, and the cylinders are what give you tractive effort. Doesn't do anything with weight distribution, any of that crap. They then came up with adhesion to kind of tell you how you could really realistically use that tractive effort. And ideally, you would have an adhesion of at least 4 adhesion coefficient on the drivers, and then you could use all your tractive effort. If you had less, they tended to derate engines on pressure. If you had more, you're kind of leaving stuff on the table as far as what you could get. So adding leading wheels and trailing wheels will take some weight off of the drivers, but if your engine's heavy enough, that doesn't cause a problem, and maybe it gives you other benefits like better negotiation through corners and things. So, all part of the question there. All right, let me start to catch up on these top chats. Where do we go here? Up, yes. Was it 5771 restoration when? Yes, there it is. GP30 foamer, brake bin for 5 months. 5771 restoration when? Probably never. The engine is seized on it, and it has been open to the environments for years. So, probably not anytime soon. Matt Houston? Double Fairly Shay, yes or no? How about no? Official Denver Grand Western YouTube channel. No, you haven't. Well, thank you. Contrarian 420. Now that I'm a man, full-grown 12-string getter. I don't know that song. I'll have to listen. Smiddle. Member for 8 months as a conductor. Yeah, getting close to a year. We've only had memberships since May or June last year. So yeah, 8 months is getting close. I've seen a lot of blue lamps, and soon the blue lamps will get gold frames. It's exciting. Joshua Brown, thank you for the super chat. Nazu, you went to look up Dirty Jobs Locomotives. Already filled out that exact question when you typed Dirty Jobs. Good job, you guys. You affected Google. I'm glad. Jess TVG, Missouri Central is your brother. Sorry for his abuse. He's fine. Thank you for the top chat. Frederick Grassick, 3254 did the boom. Blah, missed that loco. That was a neat locomotive, the Canadian National one. It's neat choo-choo. It went boom? I didn't realize it went boom.
No, he's talking about the compressor.
The what? Oh, the boom. Yes. Like I said, cross compounds, man, they're all the same. They all do that. It's funny. Missouri Central. See, point. Somebody gets it. Anyway, Missouri Central Southern Railroad. Shut it, Jess. You snitch, or Peaches gets it. Don't be mean to Peaches. Get out of here, guys.
Peaches will come after you.
Peaches will come after you. She's mean. Texas Railroader, welcome to the Engineers. Thank you. Oh, and while I'm answering questions and I see the next one. Anonymous Shay, why did I private my dev blogs and second tech tree video? Because they're not going to be used. Because QMA's gone a different direction, and I just get lots of questions about railroads online that I can't possibly answer because I'm not a part of it anymore. So
I've been yelling at people with no RO questions.
Yeah, what about this RO? I don't know. He's changed directions so hard since I was a part of the team. All right.
Am I going to have to buy RO a third time, Mark?
God, I hope not.
Oh, no.
Digital Grid Music. In your many travels, have you considered swinging up to Greenfield Village in Dearborn, Michigan? You have some pretty cool standard gauge steamers running in the summer. Actually, yes. And we may or may not have potentially started some conversations with some folks there. And by we, I mean Nick. Michigan's on the list. It's on the radar as a neat place we could go travel and go see some cool things. So, 3900 class, conductor for 5 months. In your experience, does a locomotive's personality change after rebuilds, certain maintenance tasks, or even oil conversions? I've never experienced a locomotive before and after a rebuild or an oil conversion. After maintenance tasks, yes. And the personality, no, they usually just find something new to fuck with. If just to be straight honest, we had this moment where, God, it was the dumbest shit. So, what? It was 346. 346's safety valves started to feather for the first time after we ran 491, and she did it. So she learned it from 491. Safety valves feather, so they start leaking before they pop. And it was like, she'd never done it before, and it was weird. And so she did that for a bit, and we got them rebuilt and fixed and put them back on. It's like, okay, shut up. And so she found something new to play with because she could no longer play with her safety valve feathering. Independent brake hose between the engine and tender started to leak. It didn't leak much. You can hardly hear it. You'd have to spray it with soapy water to see the bubbles to know that it was leaking. But you'd do a brake test and you could see a little leakage and whatever. And it was just enough leakage that you would sit there and she'd be just about to pop with the safety, and then the air compressors would kick on to pump the main res back up again. And it would shut it up. And okay. Boom, 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 boom. And she'd sit there. And then you'd be like, oh God, I got to put some water in. And then the air compressor would go for, another minute or whatever. And she just kept bouncing back and forth as the air compressor cycled. And it's like, really? This is how you're entertaining yourself now, sweetheart? I just find something new to fuck with. That's just how steam engines are. Blue Jacket Warrior, speaking of weird choo-choo noises, what is the weird whirring buzzing sound you tend to hear when a train is standing still? You always assume it's the generator, but how correct is your guess? If you're talking about whirring buzzing, like high-pitched kind of sound, yeah, that's the dynamo. Electric generator.
Clearly it's an alternator.
It's dynamo. It's not even, it's literally a DC generator. Literally. It creates the excitation. Get out of here. Anyway. William Grantham, how is factor of adhesion calculated? That's $1 million question. I don't honestly know. I don't know that off the top of my head. I've never actually gotten into that, so.
I know how it's calculated.
Do you?
Fancy math.
Who put your sassy pants on tonight, Nick? You're like, I'm so funny. Yeah, it's very cute.
I need that JPEG. Thanks, Mick.
It's very, very cute. That one Caledonian 812, please don't remove the ranking video. It's fun. I'm not removing any more of the videos. I removed all the ones I wanted to remove. Don't worry about it. All right. Back to the pre-asked questions. We'll do some more of these, then maybe see if we have any live questions, do the rotation, all that fun stuff. Jonathan Coleman, when is the next food video, and will it be with Grandma that you show in your videos, or will it be with 20 or 491? The food vlogs. Next one should be breakfast. Well, obviously, this was asked before the burger video came out. The burger video did come out. And next, God knows, we're not firing up to like April sometime, so it'll be a while before the next food video. But breakfast would be fun. I kind of want to do steak as well, so we shall see.
Are hot dogs too simple?
We could do hot dogs. It'd be easy, but it'd be fun. Sure. And it won't be Grandma, because Grandma is very taken apart right now. Grandma does not resemble a locomotive right now. We'll actually have to do an update video about Grandma. Let me grab a picture of what Grandma looks like right now for you guys, because Grandma...
Topless Grandma?
Grandma's very topless. She's naked. She's real
Anyway,
naked.
it's,
Grandma had to resort to stripping, man.
When are we expecting Grandma to be up and done?
A while. But yeah, this was Grandma apparently on Friday, I think Dusty sent this. I've been out sick. I helped take some of the jacket off, but I haven't been in since Wednesday. But there she is. So
I mean, if any of y'all have ever seen Family Feud, yeah. Naked Grandma!
So what exactly is being done to Grandma right now?
1472-day inspection. So tubes getting cut out, boilers getting completely surveyed, boilers getting repairs, new tires, probably new steam chests, lots of other new things. Everything that is broken or worn out will be replaced. So it's going to be a couple years probably. Big budget.
A couple of years?
Yep. It's already been a year. She was out of service in November of 2021.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Lots of work to keep the choo-choo going. But yeah, every 15 years it comes time to do this, and she's at her 15 years, so.
So wait, is it 15 years or 1472 days?
Yes.
Whichever first?
Whichever comes first. Yeah, 1472 service days, which is 4 years of straight service days. Or 15 years, which most people end up with the 15 years, unless they're like the Durango and Silverton or the Cumbres and Toltec, where they run the shit out of the engines, and then they end up coming around every 7 or 8 years or whatever. So,
yeah. So are we talking like 2025 or 2026?
We're talking. We don't have a time. We're still assessing it. We know that there's a lot of shit that needs to be done, but like we don't know what it looks like. We don't know if we're gonna do all the work or if we're gonna get some contractors to do some of the work. We don't know everything the boiler's gonna need. So it could be next year. It could be 25. It could be 26. It could be 30. You don't know. So,
is there any chance that Grandma wouldn't be coming back as an operational piece?
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I'm knocking on wood. I would say no. I don't think there's any chance of that happening. Because we have some funding established for the choo-choo already. We have the museum's been in a good place, and that's the museum's engine. So I think we could, like, if it were to be, oh God, she needs XYZ and it needs a lot of money. That is the oldest operating engine in the state of Colorado. It has run at the Colorado Railroad Museum since 1962. Like, yeah, choo-choo.
It's only the oldest operating engine in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like I know there's some bizarre outside Stevenson one from like Austria that's a little bit older. What's the oldest in the U.S.?
Oh God, someone knows that
Oh.
answer. I don't.
I know that. Okay, so the oldest right now is Torch Lake. It's Torch Lake the Mason Bogey, which is 1873, and that's at the Greenfield Village Railroad over in Detroit. I saw that run last year. It's also last the Mason Bogey, so very cool engine. But yeah, that's the oldest.
Jersey, explain me how you fit so many train facts into that brain of yours.
Have you seen how large the head is? It's full of train facts.
Hey, man!
Good point.
Oh, good.
That's mean.
We love you, Jersey.
It's 7 minutes till my birthday anyway, and I expect everyone on call to sing.
Oh boy.
Good luck with that. Good luck.
7 minutes, come on.
We can.
It's singing in my heart.
I play an instrument.
Oh, when the hell did Goose get here?
Like 2
Oh
minutes
yeah,
ago.
wait,
Okay.
what? Goose? Oh, hi, Goose.
Yeah,
Hi.
he's a recent.
Oh, hi, Goose.
Now it's a party.
I would honk back at you, but my voice is still kind of so.
Oh, your voice is going too?
Oh yeah, dude, I've had a sore throat all week. I've been out. Yeah.
Oh, me too. That's the same thing.
Yay! Pennsylvania got everyone sick. Anyway.
Because it was Pennsylvania.
Well,
One of
you
us
know,
more than
Mark.
others.
Well,
I've got-
you know, Mark,
let
I'm
me-
sick and can't show up.
Let me get through a couple more questions, and then we'll get to top chats here, because I can see that they're still coming in. East Broad
So
Top
many.
12 says, what would happen if you ran a steam engine with the smoke box door open? It would draft like shit, and the fire would probably go out. Yeah, that'd be a bad time. And
If
you'd
you
probably
move
shoot
forward
cinders
hold on.
out the front door? Oh.
At any significant speed, you would probably get backdraft.
Oh, yeah, you'd get backdraft real bad.
Yeah, wouldn't the fire end up in the cab?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going fast enough, I mean, you probably would lose steam so quick, you probably couldn't get going that fast, but anyway.
I would like to bake my crew to medium rare. Thank you very much.
Yes. Strasburg Railfan 90, do you think it's worth going to school for welding to get a job at a tourist railroad? Worth is a question that only you can answer, because going to school for welding and stuff is going to teach you a lot of great stuff, but it's expensive, and tourist railroads don't tend to pay too much, which is the unfortunate thing of the industry. But at the end of the day, we need welders, and welding, I mean, if you become a good welder and you get your certs, like, you can have your run of the litter of what jobs you want. So it's probably worth doing. William Nimmo, the man.
Do you have do you have welding certs?
No, I can't weld. I've never welded before.
No.
None of our guys are certed either, and we also don't weld on the boiler. So there you go. But if we did, like, if we had somebody who had certs, we would do the work ourselves. But like, usually when it's like, oh, we got to weld a stud on the boiler, we gotta weld a flexi cap on the boiler or whatever. It's like, hey, Durango, can you send your guy? And then a man arrives in a car, and then they fix things.
How long do you think it would take to get welding certs?
It's a fair amount of work, and you have to keep up with it. Like, you have to be recertified every couple years. Like, it's a whole
That
thing.
sounds like a fantastic question for my friend Google.
Yeah, it does sound like yeah, not Mark. It sounds like Google. How to get certified as a code welder in the state of Colorado. There you go. Look it up.
That'd be interesting, though.
William Nimmo, what kind of steam oil does your locomotives use? You mean wax types, or do they have modern synthetics that help the aging locomotive? God bless you, son, and all your train family there. Thank you, William. We use Saponamed 680 as our steam oil, which is manufactured by Green Velvet. I don't know if it's based on wax or paraffin. That's what they used to be, but I don't know what 680 is actually made out of. And then we use a 460 weight pin, bearing, and journal oil, PB&J, not the kind you eat.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Yeah, not that kind. For the pins, bearings, and the journals. And it's, I don't know if it's synthetic or what it is, but it's all good stuff. All right, let's go to the top chats, shall we? Where do we need to go? That one Caledonian we answered, so Patrick Sheary, I assume. All right, Patrick Sheary, hey, thank you for the wonderful top chat. Much appreciated. Hi, Mark. Many thanks, as always, for sharing your expert knowledge and fabulous videos. Cheers. I love seeing your comments around every time. Always bring a smile to my face. True Nub Gaming. Why do you call 346 Grandma? Because she's old!
She is the oldest running engine at the museum, and I think in the state of Colorado.
Yes, because she's old. Because we joking, like, I don't know, I really don't remember who came up with any of these nicknames. I don't know who came up with Grandma, but it's just, she's old. She's old, and she snores when she falls asleep. The snifters, literally. It's hilarious. Anthony Marino, what you learned in the United States Marine Corps is that it takes a college degree to break it and a high school degree to fix it. Wow. If I have not heard a more accurate statement. That's pretty accurate. Sometimes you need a college degree to fix it. But
it takes a college degree to break it in a way that it's still fixable.
That's fair. That's fair. Evil Me gifting 10 memberships. Cheers. William Nemo, do they require x-rays on Grandma? We will not need to x-ray Grandma, but we are going to ultrasound Grandma. We need to see if Grandma's pregnant. No, we need to know the thickness of Grandma's boiler all over the place. So we're going to do a ultrasonic thickness test survey. You grid out the boiler, usually like a foot grid on the top half and a 6-inch grid on the bottom half, and you do 5 measurements inside each grid place and get a bunch of data points and make sure nothing's wasted away.
So why the difference in the grid size?
Because shit falls down. Because all of the bullshit that ends up hitting the boiler ends up in the belly. So.
Okay.
Yeah, anything critical, like interior firebox, will get a 6-inch grid. Bottom of the barrel, that's where the wastage usually happens. Those will get a 6-inch grid.
So with the waste, is it just prone to deteriorate faster?
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Sir Liv, thoughts on 21st century steam innovations like Mackwell Locomotive Works ultra-efficient water tube boiler? Does steam have a future? I think what Mackwell's doing is really cool. I think if he can get a couple test beds out there and actually show them in use, and see if folks can actually get past the non-turnkey nature, perhaps. I'm kind of skeptical because at the end of the day, you could try and sell it as much as you want about being more green and better and all this stuff, but when it's waiting 15 minutes even versus turning the key on a diesel tractor, I think people are still going to want to turn the key. So hopefully he can make stuff happen, but we'll see.
I also have a take on that. I think that it's not going to be real popular outside of farm applications if it does take off.
Right.
Because of the readily available biomass on those farms.
Right.
So it's really
it's time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ping is awful. I mean Jersey.
Oh,
happy birthday to you. Hey, anyone want to know why you can't do jam sessions over fucking VoIP? Because of that shit right there. Either you guys are the most out of time motherfuckers,
I was deliberately out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly trying to be in time either.
It's fine. It's fine.
That was the most people that have ever sung happy birthday to me.
Everybody,
that's sad.
Don't ping me. No, don't. Oh no.
Everyone ping Jersey.
Are we all pinging Jersey?
Everyone ping Jersey.
Oh god, here we go. We're off to the races. We're off to the races. No.
All right, let's see.
Oh god, help me.
Is this where we just start putting that in every channel?
Yes.
You already did that once, you some bitch.
We're having fun here, people. Join the Discord. We do nothing unfun in the Discord. I promise you.
Oh my god, it's everywhere.
Let me just put it in every single channel in the information section, and then we'll get back to the stream. It's fine.
Oh my god.
Here, I'll put it in everything in the archive.
Oh my god!
Just for fun.
I'm
Just for gets and shiggles.
Get some shiggles.
Oh my god! Y'all better be on the stream today. Y'all better be there.
Oh boy! All right. Bacon M13, engineer for 8 months. Happy birthday, Jersey. May you enjoy a pineapple-free pizza.
I will. Oh, okay, that's nice. Thank you. I thought he said free pineapple pizza, and I was like,
I did too
like,
for a
no.
brief second, and I was like, oh, Bacon's being nice because Bacon's.
Yeah, thank you, Bacon. Bacon, you're great people for not torturing me like Mickley does every second of every day.
No pineapple, but add Oreos and bell pepper.
Oh my god, there's so many
Man,
things.
get right. You're gone. Bye.
Magic.
What just happened?
I disconnected him.
I got you.
Oh my god, there's so many pings. I'm at like 73 pings right now.
Oh, you're almost ready to be the
Not
CM
enough.
of Railroads Online. Somebody ping him some more.
Oh,
All the channels are lit up. Ew.
every single channel is on fire.
All right.
Oh,
Resuming with the questions. Admiral Mustachio asks, have you heard of the mallet whose boiler exploded? You've previously sent a DM containing more information. You have. And I read that information. Unfortunately, it didn't make a good enough story for the 3/4 Idiot show. It was like it wasn't a long enough thing to do in that format. But that was neat. It was an interesting story. Well, Willamette Valley and Western Railroad. What locomotive would you restore to operation and why? One of them. I don't know. What engine would I restore to? Like, just add any of them? It'd be cool to have 5629 just to have a big CB&Q Northern. That'd be cool. Those 05s are pretty.
We should have taken the chance, I forget exactly when it was, but to take that offer from the SNF to connect the museum to the main line. Then we would have had an excuse to restore 5629.
Back in the day, they planned on running 683 down the beer run. That was like the original museum plan, but it was not to be. That would have been neat. Anyway. Jutnik, what is the most absolute craziest and or strangest story of the American Railway? I don't know. It's hard to pick like strangest or craziest. There's been plenty. The fact that the Mount Tamalpais exists. That's pretty crazy. We'll do a video about that at some point. Eventually. Yeah, I've been habitually pushing it back a week in my release calendar for about a month now, so we'll get there. Spacebar, be pressed. What was the top speed of a K-28? I don't know, probably 40-ish. They're balanced really nice. Probably 40, maybe 45. I don't know. Zachary Hag. Hag? There's 2 A's. What is the estimated date that 346 will be operational / done with its overhaul? Eventually, TM, as we discussed.
Sometime between now and the heat death of the universe.
Good answer, Goose. Owen Sones.
Tomorrow.
If you could make your own steam engine, what would you have on it and what would it be? And American Steam is the best and Utah. I feel like not all of that question pasted, because that's a little strange. I don't know. I don't know what to make of like what would I put on my engine. I don't have enough experience with like all of the big fancy things like to know what I would put on like exactly as far as like feed water heaters and stuff like that.
Is this where I relate the extremely cursed idea that we made in the Discord a few months ago?
No, it has to be something he wants to build.
Yeah.
It's
let's
something that I
narrow
kind
it
of want to
down.
build.
Let's narrow it down. How would you fire it? Oil, wood, coal.
If I were to build a new
something else.
locomotive today, like it'd probably be an oil burner. 'Cause wood,
Okay.
like coal is fun. Coal is romantic. I like firing coal. But oil burning is cleaner and better almost in every way and will be around for longer. So
What if practicality weren't a factor?
probably still oil burning because breathing coal dust sucks. If it was gonna be my choo-choo for me to play around with all the time, like it's one thing when we're firing up the coal burners and we do it like once a month or once every other month or whatever. Okay, black boogers for that week. That's great. Yeah, all the time, like, oh yeah, this is the thing that I get to do and this is my thing and whatever, like, yeah, you probably best to not be breathing that shit all the time.
So then that leads us to the next question: is how many wheel sets? So we're talking triplex, duplex, just one.
Just one. Why would you want to fuck with more than just one? Like,
So
I don't have miles of train cars to pull.
Mark. God. Phrasing.
What? Did I miss something? Did I say something stupid? Probably.
I wasn't paying that close attention.
Never mind.
We're not doing phrasing anymore. Go fuck yourself.
I'm still getting pings. I'm still getting pings.
get wrecked.
Good.
So continuing then, in terms of wheel set, do you want leading trailing trucks, or would you
Well,
rather
yeah.
have something just on the
Yeah, leading trailing trucks. I'm not scared of them. Those are important.
leading? Well, do you prefer that?
Well, yeah.
So, like, do you prefer something more like a Connie or something more like a Mike?
Probably more like a Mikado. Yeah. I don't know. I don't care what wheel arrangement. It depends on what it would be for. It's not like you can run steam on the main line anymore. Cries.
Something Reading and Northern.
Well, when you own your own goddamn railroad, yes, you can. But short of that, yeah. Stupid.
Okay, so here's a follow-up question. Let's say you're the CEO of like a short line railroad like the Reading and Northern, and you have the opportunity to just pluck something and restore it and run it on the main because you can. Pick something.
A big fuck off Texas 210-4. Give me the Queen. The 5000. There you go. Let's pull some trains. We got shit to pull, kids. More drivers.
You heard it here first.
Madame Queen. It's cool.
Mark
choo-choo.
simps for the Queen.
I do simp for the Queen. That's CB&Q power is fucking pretty, man.
Is that a
Madame Queen is
that a
not
quill?
CB&Q. That's ATSF.
Is it ATSF? I don't remember
Yes.
what the fuck it is.
Madame Queen, big fuck off. Fucking
It is ATSF 5000, isn't
Yeah.
it? I'm sorry. I have slighted you.
Okay, so
It's a cool choo-choo, though.
I would
Oh,
like
yeah.
to describe this shit post we made.
Why you gotta do this?
Which shit
So-
post? There's a lot.
If I recall correctly, it was a pretty good one.
It was a good one. So, starting off with like a Garrett-style chassis with bunkers and water tanks fore and aft. You have the center, which is double fairlead, but Shea, with triple expansion engines on each side. Water tube boiler.
All right, fix that problem.
Super easy.
I saw him tab over to Discord too, and I'm like, I know what's happening.
My mouse hovered on kick at first, and I was like, no, I don't need to make that headache for Mick. All right, let's do one more question from the pre-asked questions before we go back to top chat stuff. Radio isotopics. This is probably a stupid question. There are no stupid questions. It's fine. But are modern-built locomotive boilers made out of some special type of stainless steel to improve corrosion resistance, or are they more frequently just a regular non-stainless steel, and corrosion is prevented through water treatment and proper cleanouts? The latter.
And Croatian is prevented?
Corrosion, not Croatian.
That's what you
Did I
said.
say Croatian?
Croatian.
Hi. No, the corrosion is prevented through water treatment. Yeah, no, I've never heard of a stainless steel boiler, actually. I've heard of copper boilers and small things, but big choo-choos are just steel, and they're usually a relatively strong steel.
I was gonna say,
but-
what kind of carbon content is it?
Usually in the 0.20s-ish. Decently high.
That's like mild.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
just
mild steel,
me,
but
or
it's
has Zeus
it's
become
it's
robot?
usually a fair bit more stout than like A36, right? It's not like plain bullshit steel. Like 491's sheets are almost all like 62,000 for yield strength, 62,000 pounds or psi. Whereas like it's even more than like a grade 50. It's like a grade 60-ish steel. The FRA only gives you up to 50,000 if you don't know what your steel your boiler's made out of. So they assume worst case bottom barrel steel will be 50,000, and then I think iron, not cast iron, but wrought iron is like 35 or 40,000. So they don't give you much there. Furthermore, does the cost of copper make it worthwhile to have a copper firebox, or is steel just the way to go? So it's great, relatively heat resistance metal that's cheaper and more widely available. Yeah, copper is so cost prohibitive at that size, at that point. I hadn't seen a big engine with a copper firebox till the Restorations channel in the Discord, which we started up. If you haven't seen that in the Discord, We have a channel for people who are working on restorations of steam locomotives or railroad-related projects in the industry of railroad preservation or very nearly adjacent. Feel free and ping me in the Discord if you're involved in that. You want to be a part of that channel and you want to have those conversations. We're trying to keep it closed so that we're just not run over by foamers. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I love the train chat and I love people posting about all this stuff, but it was like anytime we tried to have a conversation about something a little bit more in-depth on the industry, it was like post, and then someone would send 6 pictures of some steam engine, and it was like, okay, and there goes that, and no one will ever see it. So the restorations chat has kind of allowed more visibility for that, and it seems like it's been a good ad so far. But yeah, I hadn't seen, there's some engine over in Europe. I can't remember who posted it and from where, but they were rolling tubes in the Firebox, and the Firebox is all copper, and it's like, I've never seen a copper Firebox that big. It's really uncommon in the States for cost reasons, but I mean, you could have them, but not necessarily for the highest pressures, I wouldn't think. You'd have to have it really thick, so it'd be even more cost prohibitive. But
I do not believe copper fireboxes are prohibited anymore stateside.
I don't think they're prohibited. I think they're prohibitive cost-wise.
I don't. Well, no. I don't think they're allowed.
Oh, you don't think they're allowed?
Yeah, at least not on FRA stuff. I know, like, state boiler codes, some of them still have copper fireboxes, like the small Henschel things, but
okay.
In terms of, like, FRA choo-choo, yeah, I don't think so anymore.
I pinged you with the post in the channel if you want to go look at it and or
show it on stream. Thank you. Yeah, God, that was so cool. Open in browser. Yeah, they were rolling tubes, and I mean, you can see big F-off copper sheet. That's cool. I've yet to roll tubes in an engine. Sometime soon.
But you're all cold, God bless.
French fry tater.
So, what is that thing that they're using to roll the tubes?
That's kind of a mandrel roller that you stick in, and it beads the edge of the tube over as you crab down on it. And it basically presses, it forms the tube into a lip that then bites the sheet basically and makes a pressure tight seal mechanically. Yeah. All right. Back to top
my
chat.
audio
super
better,
chat.
by the way?
Yes.
Seems fine.
Okay.
It went bad
my mic went bad for a
like
sec.
Oh. It happens.
Sounded like you half unplugged it or something.
Anthony Marino, in the military, to be a pilot, you need a degree to fix the aircraft. Just learn it as you go. Pretty sure locomotives are the same way. Yeah, you don't need a degree. You learn it as you go, exactly. Yeah. Nazu, probably won't be able to make the stream jersey. Got the night shift, but happy birthday jersey. Lime, cake, cookie, pineapple, pizza. There you go.
What? I was on board until the last thing.
Yep. The emojis that they sent in order. Denver Grand Western YouTube channel. Yeah, there's a pineapple and pizza emoji. I don't know why. March of 1938 on the RGS. Yes, very cold. DAC 1096. Do you think there is a way to use electric heating for steam engines when fossil fuels are no longer viable? The Swiss tried it, and they apparently had success with it, but they didn't like it so much to stick around with it. I kind of doubt that sort of thing will happen. I imagine they'll burn oil for a long time, and the running out of oil thing will be a far-off problem. I'm sure we'll all manage to blow ourselves up or something by the time that really happens anyway, so... Sir Liv, would you use a Macwell-style boiler and other modifications improvements in your Montezuma new build, or would you keep it 100% original? We would do some new stuff. We've talked about some new stuff. Spitballing, of course, still. So we're far off from ever actually starting that sort of thing. But it would be original with a couple of necessary modern things. Extra water glasses, air brakes, because we don't want to die like men. Stuff like that. Maybe oil burning, that kind of stuff, but we wouldn't do a Macwell boiler. The boiler would be pretty much exactly as it would have been, except probably welded instead of riveted. But yeah. Christopher Broad. Hello, Hyce. How are you doing? Doing well. Thank you. Andrew Kruzka? That's a lot of letters all in one spot there. Welcome to the conductors. Thank you. Rusty Rails Productions. Member for 3 months with the Fireman. Where would be the hardest place to repair on a boiler? Also, when you run the locomotives and you're pulling into the station, do you apply sand just before you stop? Hardest place to repair on the boiler is going to be the throat sheet. It's the most complicated to form, depending on the boilers. Some of them not too bad. 491s is kind of wacky. If you've never looked at the K37 throat sheet, it's super thick steel, and it's a very confusing shape. So if you had to repair something in there, that would be awful. And when you're pulling into station, do you apply sand? Sometimes. If we're worried about traction, if it's closer to tonnage, if it's wet, yes. If it's a nice sunny day out, you don't have too many cars behind you, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. You know, sometimes you need it, but sometimes you don't. Dark Flame Gaming, he has indeed Brakeman for 1 month. Wait, Montezuma, new build? Details, please. Welcome to the ES Engineers. He just full sent on that.
Woo!
Wow.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Give him the beans.
Give it the beans. The beans. So Brett, Leighton, and I have been joking about doing, well, seriously joking, i.e. getting quotes on things and stuff. Seriously looking into rebuilding the Montezuma. It is, we would love to kick it off, but the reality of it is I need to have like a house and a garage to help facilitate before we really get into it. And even like doing the first little things of the project are kind of prohibitively expensive. Like we looked into wheels, and just getting tender wheels and pilot wheels would be $16,000 for just the wheels. So, you know, it's like, that's not any part of the drivers, and, you know, we need to price out the whole thing and get it all catted first. But we're planning on doing it someday. So that's down the pipeline. So
Chat wants to know if you have blueprints.
yes, teehee. They're not actual blueprints, but we have enough drawings that and enough specs that we could draw it up and do it. Yeah. So
sometime in the future, coming to a store near you, fundraising campaign for Zuma.
Fundraising campaign to Zuma someday. But yeah, I mean we're a ways out. I mean, Brett just moved out of Leighton's place, so Leighton lost the rental income of Brett. And Brett moved in with his girlfriend at a new place that's more expensive than Leighton's rent was. So Brett has the additional expense of rent. And I'm trying to, you know, eventually buy a house someday. Housing market sucks. And that's a whole...
Especially around here.
Especially around here. I mean, it's not as bad as Seattle, but I mean, I'm on my own this go around. I mean, I had to buy with, you know, with my ex co-signing and everything and being halvesies in on the house in Seattle. So... I'm hopeful that I can do it out here, and it might be a possibility, but it's, you know, it's not cheap, and it's hard for me to balance. Like, I love the donations, the support, and the super chats and stuff, but it's hard for me to like justify not putting that back into the channel. Like, it's a weird mental thing. Like, I want to be doing things and using funds that people are donating to me via the YouTube to help make the YouTube better. And I guess having a house and having a place to do these sorts of things could count for that, but it's something, a mental hurdle that I try to get over. So
something business expense.
Yeah.
Send it.
Yeah, something like that.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Yeah, but
reason for my laughter just a few seconds earlier. What if you found a triplex, and then all three of you idiots lived in the same building in separate houses?
They would hate me because I have drums and guitars. And I have the loudest car, too. Both the Daily Driver and the GTO. Anyway.
I think it'd be funny, but not practical.
No, it wouldn't be practical. It would be funny. The funny thing is, Brett and I haven't lived together before. Leighton and I have, and Brett and Leighton have. So by transitive property, we all have lived together at some point. But no, Brett and I have never lived together either. So anyway. Okay. Let me keep going down. Full size or half scale? No, full size. It's just a wide 50. This is the reason why we decided to do this was
Zuma is...
It's itty bitty. It's nothing. It's the cutest little
kiss
choo-choo. It's a little dude. It is a wide live steam engine. It is no more complex than doing a 15-inch gauge engine. And as far as like parts and cost and stuff, it is literally a wide 15-inch gauge engine. The boiler is the size of a 15-inch gauge engine. You could get a piece of seamless pipe for the fucking boiler. They make pipe bigger than the diameter of that thing's boiler. Like,
Hold on, I'm trying to find a picture of it
It
with
is-
people in it.
It is small.
For scale.
It weighs 25,000 pounds. You could put it on a big gooseneck trailer behind a big diesel pickup and move it around. Like,
Please don't put it on my neck. That would be bad for my health.
yeah, you would die, but that's fine. So, anyway.
And then I have the bright idea of trying to get these guys to help me build one of the Magma Arizona engines.
It's not happening.
afterwards.
It's not happening.
Okay,
Mark,
Mickey,
check the
here's how you
C-text.
do it. Here's how you do it, Mick. You want us to help you build a Magma Arizona? Here's what you do. You give us $10 million each.
Sold.
And
Done.
Yeah, there you go. Then we'll help you build.
That's a good picture. It's an artist render, but yeah, here is
It's an artist
here's-
render, but it's
there's Zuma.
For
That's
scale.
that's how big this choo-choo is.
But
Okay.
now the question is that man Brett-sized or me-sized?
That man is closer to you-sized because Brett can stare directly into the center of the headlight of the Montezuma from the railhead height. It is
Brett is very large.
itty bitty, and Brett is very large. Yeah, so it's very cute, but it's the regret. It's DNRG number 1. When we get serious about it, we need to get funding for it. We're rebuilding the Grand's first locomotive. Like, come on, pays for itself.
Is there
but-
stuff you could do to it to make it have better attractive effort that wouldn't?
Yes,
like...
we're already planning on doing that. Stop spoiling
Okay.
all the spoilers, Mickley. The thing's got a factor of adhesion of like almost 5 because the boiler is like a 130-pound boiler. So you could bump it up to like 150 or 160 to get it to pull. Shocker! 1 4-wheel coach and 1 Jackson and Sharp coach up Cumbres Pass. That's it. 2 cars. if you
good
did
for
that.
about 2 cars.
Good for about 2 cars.
Yeah, well, 1.5 really. But yeah, if you upped it, as it sits, it would not pull. It would pull like I don't even think it could pull the 1 JNS coach up Cumbres as it sits originally. So you can see why they got rid of it.
Here is another image
that's
that
a-
I'm being pestered with.
That's a great picture. Here you go.
I was more suggesting something
That's
like
Ute.
make the
That's
boiler
sister.
slightly larger or something.
Oh
like
no,
that.
no. The dimensions have to be pissant, poor, sad Montezuma, but we can make it be higher boiler pressure. But there you go. There's Ute, and I don't even know what the 904 is. Some baby stupid 280 probably that got cut up that's smaller than a K37. And there's little Zuma. I mean, sister of Zuma, the Ute. But this
Son
is
of Zuma.
so. This is a fun picture with this one because we realized if you look at the pictures of Ute and Zuma, it's a C48. Oh, really? Okay, thanks, Mainline. Well, so it's bigger than a K37 that got cut up. Anyway, they must have upgraded these engines at some point because there's a main res on the back of the tender. The pump must be on the other side. We haven't found a picture of one with a pump, but there's an air res on the back of this tender tank, so it has an air pump. So they fitted them with some kind of brakes at some point, whether it was just for the train behind them or what. But they actually modernized these engines to some degree, probably in the 1890s. So we're gonna make a full size one at someday. I mean, you know, we're still plotting. So anyway, but yeah, that's a cute little dude.
Scheming.
Yeah, such a cute little choo-choo.
Do you have any? Oh,
How fast can it go? Probably 40 mile an hour. Probably scary fast. It's got big drivers.
I mean the tender would.
It's
fall out,
40-inch
probably.
drivers. It's not tiny.
The tender wouldn't fall off. There's no water in the tender to slosh. It only holds 500 gallons. You'd get it up to 40 and then have to dump it to stop at the next water plug. DAC 1096. Another stupid question. Can you fire a coal engine on wood and a wood burner on coal? Yes, but it's not ideal for either of them.
Technically.
Yeah, you can, but it's not
I have
ideal for
seen-
either of
Hey,
them.
Railroads
Video
Online, you can do it.
Spoilers.
I've seen video online of someone who made like a 40-foot steamboat, and they have it as multi-fuel where they can burn like kerosene or waste oil, but also burn wood.
It's not ideal. Yeah.
It's not.
Which one of you bastards disconnected
Me? Who do you think? For the Railroads
I don't know.
Online comment, you ding dong.
I don't know. Mickley could do
Our
that.
new engines are gonna burn coal.
We're not
Clearly,
the
we're
only
not
ones.
watching
Someone else could do
Jersey.
it.
Jersey. Okay.
Oh,
Clearly, you were not watching the stream because Mr. Heisman over here did the grin. Where
Well,
you know
I mean,
he's done
I have
something
the-
naughty.
I did.
I have the thing up. I have the stream up on my second screen, but it was so delayed that it was like I got disconnected and then I saw the face.
He did the evil grin, my guy.
Good.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let me get through these top chats and we'll keep going. Allison Stilly upgraded membership to ESD Engineers. Welcome, thank you. All right, there we go. That's the end of the top chats. Let's. Do we have any good live questions, Mick? It's been a minute since we've done those.
I have several.
Go for it.
Okay. From Jack Gonsack. Hey Hyce, love the videos. When are you going to go and drive a Thunder Chicken? Also, how long is 346 down for? But we kind of already discussed the 346 stuff.
I have never been offered the chance to run the Thunder Chicken. If I was offered the chance to run the Thunder Chicken, I gladly would. But it's
What
not.
is the Thunder Chicken?
It's 463, man. That's your mud hen, man. Well, not your mud hen, but one of your dutes that you like. Yeah, it's a cool choo-choo.
That's my favorite.
It's not my railroad. It's not like my place to like ask or be offered. Like I don't expect to ever get that offered. But if they said, "Hey, run the choo-choo," I gladly would. 346, couple years probably, plus or minus a couple years. Figure that out.
That's a large standard deviation.
Yep, we couldn't tell you until we kind of have it blown apart and then know what the hell. So, anyway, next.
From Tyler Sibley, why isn't propane or other flammable gas used on locos past 15-inch?
Because the fuel energy density is not there.
I was
Like-
gonna say propane. You can really only do like
It's good for grilling burgers.
maybe liquid, but it's usually gas, and the amount of
Isn't liquid propane
Gas?
like insanely expensive to store or something?
yeah, because
Liquid
what temperature
propane
does
is-
propane go liquid at?
Isn't it liquid in the tanks that you get for barbecuing?
Yes.
Like, it's already liquid. When you shake the tank, it sounds like sloshy liquid.
No, because propane goes liquid at 44 degrees Fahrenheit below zero.
Oh.
But that's at atmospheric
Oh, that's at
pressure.
atmospheric
It's
pressure, and they're
atmospheric pressure,
pressurized in the right. That
Yes.
whole gas and fluids thing. Right.
Yeah,
It's
vapor
chemistry.
pressure, that kind of thing.
I was so excited that I got to skip chemistry 1 when I went to college. I hated chemistry.
I-
Somehow got a
it was
4 on the
just
AP
How did you
test.
just skip it? Oh,
I got a 4 on the AP test. Yeah. Because I was smart.
I didn't take AP Chem. I got to skip like my first semester of physics, and
I cannot blame anyone for like not taking AP Chem. That class sucked. It's been such a long time. It's been over a decade since then. I still remember the pains of that class.
I didn't
Speaking
have
of
to take
time,
chem.
I must away. It is bedtime.
Later, Jake.
Have a good night, y'all.
Later.
Bye.
hope you find
Yeah.
your dad.
Yes. Right.
Wait,
So,
what?
it's a dumb joke. Dumb line from a movie.
Have you not seen Elf?
Move on. Bye, buddy. Okay. Next, Mickley.
You should go check Super Chats.
Oh, lordy. I don't have to scroll. It's just one.
Exactly.
Oh, God. Evil me, Hyce, my friend, your nightmare meme has begun construction. I posted it on the meme channel. Don't ban you. I egged you on, so I will not ban you.
Go scroll up. It is a thing.
my.
Oh, fuck. No, why are you seriously doing this?
It's very personal.
No. Oh no! What have I done? Why did I egg?
Locomotives are being sacrificed for this.
Why did I egg somebody on? You're so committed to the bit, man. I hate this. It's also gorgeous, but I also hate it.
Hey,
Hubris has become quite
better
humorous.
be able, as long as he's able to run it on the layout.
I have 072 curves, so.
Main rod.
Oh God.
Wait, what? You have 072?
Yeah.
I don't even have 070.
Well, I haven't
Someone
installed
sent
the
me
072.
072.
Yeah, I got sent 072. Yeah. from
want 070.
God. They use different usernames whether or not they're in Discord or out of Discord. I never keep them straight. Very sweet individual who sent me the ZW, or bought the ZW off of them. Peter, I know their actual name, also sent some 072 curves. So yeah. So theoretically,
cool.
I could run this amalgamation when it arrives. I can't believe you're actually doing this.
You could buy one of the Lionel scale big boys and complete the meme.
Oh, God, remember what I said about buying a house? I can't afford a big boy. Yeah.
It only costs slightly more.
Mortgage.
That's a vibe. Anyway, next question, Mick.
All right. From Rollestone Rails / Ethan. What are your thoughts on the New Zealand railways? Specifically of the KB class built in 1939 as a 484 mountain type with boosters.
I don't know anything about them, but hearing about a 484 with boosters on it in New Zealand sounds cool. Ping me in the Discord about it.
I don't know what any of it means, so I just copy
Yeah,
pasted.
so booster engines are cool. They're usually mounted on the trailing truck or the first tender truck, but they're like a little extra miniature steam engine for giving extra tractive effort at slow speeds. And so engines with boosters are not super stupid common, but they're relatively common on bigger stuff. But hearing about something that ran in New Zealand, which my brain is saying is a different gauge for some reason. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't remember. Still cool. So.
Okay, from Mason Long. How do you choose which locomotive to run at the museum? Like, do you flip a coin? Is it just whoever wants?
It's usually what's in service and what fits the event and what fits the capacity and balancing the service days. A little bit of everything. We usually don't, like, we know far in advance. Like, we already know what engines are running in May and whatever. Spoilers.
We have to do a
both of them.
seance.
Yeah, we don't. That's only when you want to talk to Mickey. You get out the old CNS timetable and the empty bottle of Jack Daniels, and then you summon Mickey McGowan.
And you ask him what you want to run, and it's always 346.
It's always 346, and he always dares you to run it faster. Yeah.
Pour one out for Mickey, boys.
NZ. Okay, New Zealand is 3 foot 6 inch gauge. That's cool.
You already saw it.
Yeah. Cool. And yes, 4449 is a booster. I know that. I like that choo-choo.
Somebody send me a picture of engine with booster because I want to see.
The booster is
2102.jpg.
as far as I've been able to see. It's always hidden underneath the frame.
Yeah, usually can't really see the guts of it.
Oh well.
Anyway, next question, Mick.
From Kyle Pennypacker. Why do steam loco rods clank sometimes? And is this a bad thing or just a result of physics, poor maintenance, etc., etc.?
It is a reality of running steam, really. I mean, if they don't clank at all, okay, there's a lot of things to this. All right, we're going to paint. Okay, so you have wheel, or we're blue for some reason. Whatever, you have a wheel, and on the wheel you have a crank pin, and on the crank pin is where the rod actually rides. So when you look at this from a side view.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
Go ahead.
Go look in Engine Crew.
Why are you doing this to me, man? I'm trying to draw a crank pin. All right. Engine Crew. Is it the Hyce emoji?
Yes. Look at its name.
That's very good. That's very good. I'm glad. Oh, look at me nailing it on making it happen. Somebody starboard that. Oh, it doesn't work in there. Whatever. Oh, I'm glad you guys have fun at my expense. Anyways.
Yeah, so there's the thing for general. There
crank pin, and then the rod, like if it's there's many different flavors, but the rods have big circular end. This is kind of more like 346s. I won't draw two of them. Whatever. Rod goes that way. And then and then the rod's got a hole in it, and inside the hole lives a brass bushing that basically spans the gap between the crank pin and the actual rod itself, and it's got a pretty loose fit because you need to be able to have the wheels go up and down and over at transitions, so you need to have some amount of ability to shift the tolerance in the rod. And so they pack the actual bushing itself with a bunch of hard grease called alamite grease. It's kind of like made out of soap, actually. And that grease over time pounds out. The engines knock it out, particularly if they're a bit more worn, and that slop becomes greater. Because I mean, when they're tight and new, it's like a 16th of play, I want to say, if I'm remembering right. That might be totally off. Don't quote me on that. And then as things wear out and whatever, and things go, the gap gets bigger and bigger, and then the rod clank gets more and more, and the grease falls out much more easily. And so, like 20, when we ran out on the Cumbrace and Toltec, everything brand new and beautiful, we ran all the way across the railroad 64 miles, and we went to put more grease in the main rods, and it like only took like a couple little doots of grease in it. Like usually it takes a whole stick, that long of grease, and it only took like half or like a third of that, really, because it was still so packed full. Whereas 491, before her main rods got redone very recently, man, she had so much slop. She was pounding the grease out, but she hadn't had new brasses since she ran for the Grand. And so, I mean, midway through the day, you'd just be hearing as the rods would be bouncing around. So a lot of rod knock. Okay, that's a little much. But at the end of the day, you'd rather hear them than smell them. If you could smell the bearings being hot, that's the real problem. If they're chirping a little bit, I mean, that's kind of rods. That's kind of what they do. Unless you have roller bearing rods, in which case you have tolerances and all manner of fun crap to deal with. But good question. All right, let me check top chats, because I saw we had a couple. Dak 1096, are you excited to see mods and Railroads Online? I'm not really excited for much with Railroads Online, if we're entirely honest. It's fun to play the game and talk with Khan, because it's fun to hang out and talk with Khan. I don't really enjoy the game that much. There are moments when it still feels pretty cool, but it's a well, yeah. Dave Guerra,
there's not much of a game there.
Yeah, well, it's a tech demo. It's fine. Dave Guerra, thank you for the top chat, and John Deerboy with another big top chat. Thank you. Live music tonight, as always. Let's we'll get into that in a little bit here. I want to get through a couple more questions, and then we'll play some more tunes.
Or 3 more.
Okay, let's blitz through those, and then we'll try and get to some of the pre-asked questions again.
From Scourge Olafsson, which I'm sure is not how you pronounce that. How do you control the rate the Firebox burns fuel to match the power needs of the boiler?
Adding more. You size the fire to how hard the engine's going to work. So you with coal, you can put fuel in.
Go ahead. I was going to say how hard it's going to work 5 minutes from now.
Well, ahead of time, right, with coal. And I mean, it's different for every fuel type. Wood, you got to be decently ahead of time because the wood will light faster than coal, but wood burns way faster, so you got to add a lot of wood when you need it. With coal, you got to get wood tossed in, or not wood. You got to get coal tossed in early. It needs a couple minutes to light and actually be producing maximum heat. And so you have to have the fire sized ahead of time, knowing how hard the engine's going to work, which is just kind of a the territory and how hard the engine works kind of thing. Like, I know going up Cumbrace, the engine's going to be absolutely pissed off and you need to have a ridiculous fire in there. I know at the museum what the fire needs to look like to keep the engine happy going up the hill kind of thing, and you have to be ready ahead of the time. You can't take the fire out, though, so you don't want to overdo it. And on our engines, you don't have any airflow control. Some coal burners do have dampers. Some wood burners, most wood burners have dampers, and oil burners all have dampers where you can control the airflow. So you can reduce the fire combustion by closing the dampers if you have them, but our engines don't have them, so it's not really an option. On oil burners, the fire is instantaneous almost. So as soon as the engineer opens the throttle more, you're opening the firing valve more, or the atomizer, or both. And so you size the fire dynamically, right, with every change the engineer makes. So that's the fun little nuance between oil and coal. So anyway,
Do you want
next?
Do you want more questions or a happy thing?
Sure. Happy thing. Why not?
Video game trains.
Video game trains. Oh.
Now, it looks like there's an amount of mods in use.
Oh. I don't know if it's what you're wanting. I don't know. Is it what Greg sent that you're talking about?
In video game trains?
In video game trains.
What did Greg
I'm stopping
send?
by. Goose, stop blowing up my phone.
Okay, so I will scroll down. But I did not see what Greg had sent today until now, and it gives me big smiley face.
I
Sorry.
don't know what Greg sent, but apparently there's more than one good thing. I was talking about the most recent posts in video game trains.
Oh, people making fun scrap mechanic stuff.
Yes, it looks like there's an amount of mods present.
Oh, that's cool.
Now I'm scrolling up to figure out where the thing from Greg
Greg
is.
posted a giant F-off choo-choo that I can only hope he's
Ooh.
trying to add into Hero Valley, which, anyway. So here's the stuff for stream from Scrap Mechanic. Oh, it would be cool to make engines that look like that. Oh, Con and I have to do this now.
So
There's a
those
K27.
ones-
Those are
Those
cute.
ones for sure have an amount of mods. I don't know
The
about
27 might not. It's got tires
Yeah.
still. That's cool.
That's what I was gonna say. It doesn't look like it has mods, at least as far as I know how Scrap
And
Mechanic
this
goes.
is what Greg sent. I don't think that's a real engine because that just looks like he made his class 86 become his class 86. But yeah, Greg.
That looks dope.
Greg, do it. So anyway, questions, Mickley, next.
Right. From Axel Rez with many extra letters where they should not be. Hey, Hyce, quick question about oil-fired engines. How does the job of a fireman differ from that of a wood or coal-fired engine?
We
Tried
kind
to
of
find info online, but I can't find many specifics.
We kind of started in on that. With a wood and a coal burning engine, it's pretty much the same. You're just dealing with different amounts of fuel at different times. Coal and wood, you're very much tending the fire like it's a campfire. Except it's a very large industrial campfire being stoked by literal shockwaves and gas and things, which is very exciting and fun. But you're definitely tending to that piece, and you're firing ahead of time, knowing the route then. With the oil burner and an oil fire, you are eyeball fucking the engineer. That is the term of the coined term that I've always heard, and it always sticks with me because it's like, what? That's a turn of phrase. Yeah. Eyeball fucking the engineer. You're watching everything the engineer does. If he takes a little more throttle, a little less throttle, a little more bar, a little less bar, you are doing something with the firing valve. Everything in the moment. You live in the moment. Anytime he makes a change, you got to be right there with him with the firing valve or the atomizer, because any change drastically immediately affects the fire, because there is no fire mass. There is no fire bed. There is just a amorphous pile of liquid oil that is on fire that if the engine slips, all of a sudden disappears. The fire goes out. So you really have to be right there with your engineer. So very different mental game. You don't have to plan ahead. You don't have to aim the fire. You don't have to get coal placed perfectly. You have to be right there with it. And then, of course, you have to sand flues here and there, but it's something I've never gotten to do, really. I mean, I fired the bomb with the Shayless 15. What should have been a bomb, thankfully, is getting fixed at this point. And I didn't. We're pulling two cars on a flat railroad. I mean, you set the firing valve and then tried not to fall asleep. So, I'd like to actually fire oil somewhere. It'd be fun. So, anyway, next question.
You got a couple super chats.
All right. Literally a couple. William Fleet, Brakeman for 8 months. That's cool, man. Thank you. Dark Flame Gaming. What was the Santa Fe on when they made the 3000? The Santa Fe just did lines of cocaine sometimes. I swear to God. They just don't make any sense. And for the uninitiated, the 3000 I mean, they were up way too late. They were way too drunk, and they had done way too many hard drugs to make this locomotive. Like, it does not make any sense. Open image in new tab. So, it's a 2-10-10-2 because more drivers, more good. And it has a boiler, and then it has a reboiler. And they vent the steam through these pipes from boiler 1 to boiler 2, and there might be a flexible joint there. I don't remember. Ask Dusty's friend Jimmy from the COG. He likes perverted Santa Fe shit. This thing is wacky. It's like a reheater in the front is what it was called, because they couldn't make tubes long enough, and they hadn't thought of combustion chambers yet, and the Santa Fe was just like, whoo, we're gonna design some locomotives today! And then they made this fucking thing.
So this one doesn't have the bendy boiler, but the, I think, 4462 does have a bendy boiler.
4462.
With like a diaphragm between it.
So, another thing, just while we're here, could you please explain to the people who Akabog is?
Oh, Akabog is the Colorado Railroad Museum's multimedia director. Hi, Matt. How you doing?
That's why, Wings. That's why. Something behind the scenes.
We're making NFTs. Oh God, Matt.
Oh
boy.
my God.
Oh boy.
That is.
I want the first NFT of all the choo-choos. I will start the bidding war.
No.
They will be mine. Anyway, Tyler O'Donnell Pacquione. Honk. You tried to mute yourself before the sneeze, but you couldn't get the button on time. You're bad. Conductor for 7 months. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right, next question, Mickley.
Last question I have, because I've not been looking at chat for a little while, and I
Bad
can't
boy.
be bothered because I'm sending Jersey awful pictures on my phone. A Wild Jared asks, why are snifters important? How do they work? And I'm interpreting this as explain grandma snoring.
Snifters are really important. I have no idea why she snores. That didn't make any damn bit of sense. But okay, so we have a cylinder. Cylinder looked like this, and it have a piston inside it that go there, doot. And on top of the cylinder is the steam chest, which is just a big square in terms of D-valve engines like slide valve D-valve engines like 346, 20, 491's got piston valves, so they're circular, whatever. The concept is the same. Inside here lives the valve. Valve uncovers ports that go from intake on the inside to actually going to the piston on the outside, whatever, depending on the admission type, all that great stuff. In the front of the steam chest, we have a little doohickey, a little kind of fancy pipe elbow plumbed in right here. And then it's got a little lid, and then a little bunch of little holes. And then there is a valve that sits up in there like this. And so when you have no steam pressure, gravity tell this valve to open.
What in the fuck?
Excuse you.
Sorry, I'm kidnapping people.
I was...
Well, one person.
We're when railroader.
Hi,
when
Pup, this
railroader.
railroader.
When railroader.
Where railroader?
When railroader.
Where railroader?
Is Pope John Paul II really your dad?
Only if you believe hard enough.
Mickley, you're interrupting me while I'm monologuing about important railroad topics.
Sorry.
I'm gonna let you guys meme. I'm gonna deafen while I finish this explanation, and you guys can
Okay, I'll
be
send him back.
shitposts
I'll
there.
send him back.
Send him back from where he came from.
Back to the chasm from whence he came.
You're kidding me. Okay.
We will bring the
Back to-
Buffy boy back. We will bring him back so that you can ask him about Pope John Paul II again. Let me finish these snifters. Okay? These are important. Okay.
Sorry.
So, snifter. Gravity, when no steam pressure, we'll use blue. When no, darker blue. When there's no steam in the steam chest, there's no pressure on this, gravity say snifter open, and it allows air to come in through the snifter. When you have steam pressure inside the steam chest, it presses up on this valve and it closes it. And actually, when you open the throttle on a steam engine, you'll pull it open and you'll kind of hear it go shh, as steam is rushing out this before it closes. And when you get it open far enough, it goes shoo, and you'll watch a big puff of steam. Actually, if you watch The General with Buster Keaton, when he's on the pilot and he's trying to throw the ties to get them out of the way, you can watch the snifters open and close, and you can see the steam plumes, so you know somebody is actually running the train out of shot, which they needed to for the sake of the movie, but it's a fun little detail. So why are these important? Why do we need this? Well, you remember how this side is on the intake, and then we have it going to the cylinder, and then exhaust, right? So if the engine's moving and this piston's moving, it's going to draw a vacuum if you're not applying power to it, just like your car does. When you let off on the throttle, it generates a lot of vacuum as the the pistons are moving. And so you would start to suck in exhaust gas from the smoke box back into the engine. And on a wood burner and a coal burner, the exhaust gas has cinders in it. And cinders make really great sandpaper and grit that can ruin your bore and ruin your rings and ruin all nice bits of your engine. So you would like them to not get sucked into the engine. And so you break the vacuum with a gravity-operated valve called a snifter. So the snifter opens, you get air in there, it pulls air in through the snifter instead of the exhaust in from the smoke box. So it's very important. So somebody lime Jimmy! Sorry. Yeah, that vacuum in the cylinders really sucks. So somebody hit him with a lime.
I lack the ability to do that. It's a tad far, but I do have my signed by Jersey and Hyce ES&D brand ES&D branded mystery citrus.
I need to get the website up to snuff so we can actually sell these. And by the website,
you promised to beam me with one of those from a moving locomotive, and I still haven't had it happen.
Well,
I have to take a picture of all the stuff I got and send it.
Been sick, okay?
Very vaguely on the snifter topic. Funny story is that in the movie The General, where Buster Keaton did the whole like ride on the pilot and throw the ties out of the way thing, you can see the snifters operating as they're going through that scene, which means someone's in the cab operating it.
Were you not here for the part of the stream where I said that exact thing? Were you muted? Were you not paying attention?
I was not paying attention.
There's an echo in here.
Whoops.
Literally gave that whole piece of trivia. There you go.
My B.
Well done. Hey, at least I know you pay attention to me. Sometimes. Okay.
When I'm not also trying to meme on Jersey.
All right. Let's see.
Did we get any more super chats?
Not that I saw. So we'll get through a couple more pre-asked questions, and then we'll get to music, I think, unless you've got some good ones.
It looks Midlands has sent me thing. I think he's saying he sent it to you too, but it looks like EVP 16 snifter and Dave explaining.
Oh, cool. You did send that. I'm not gonna debut it live just in case, but I like to review footage if I was gonna share it. But thank you, Midland. Anyway,
I was gonna review it.
Yeah, almost word for word. Yeah, that's great. Anyway. William Cannon asks, Hyce, I wish you'd go over the air braking system on the K27. You have the regular controls, but you've seen another brake handle. That might be the misleading thing with a lot of the Cumbres and Toltec engine. No, the 27 doesn't have that, though. The Cumbres and Toltec uses S3 air brake handles to run their overflows for their injectors, which is kind of funny on the sides, but the K27 doesn't have that. It's just got the same air brakes as everything else.
Jimmy did it again.
Limes!
Don't make me knock my camera off my monitor with a lime, Jimmy. Just don't. Tyler Sibley, if you could build a live steam model of any locomotive for your layout or for you to ride on, what would it be? The Montezuma, but full size. T-Nexus 13, have you had the chance to go over to York in the UK to the Railway Museum? No, I've not, and I want to. I've not been to the UK. I have been to Dublin, and I've been to Croatia, and I've been to Mexico, and that is all of the outsides the United States travels that I have done. So I absolutely want to get over to the UK and go see the National Railway Museum someday. And go beat up Lori. Croatia, Mexico, and Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah. Ireland. I spent a 10
An
days
Ofero.
in Dublin with the Ofero. Yeah, that was a great trip. I played bass drum in the St. Patrick's Day parade. Come on, man, that was freaking cool. I got drunk at Guinness on St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, for free. Oh God, that was a great time. Having gluten-free friends hand me the pour-your-own-pint tickets and not eating for 12 hours and then drinking 6 beers. Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, there you go.
You should go look in Train Crew.
Germany. Well, Germany doesn't count. Germany was on the way to Croatia. Go look in Train Crew.
Go look in Train Crew.
Railroader.
I mean, it's on Starboard now.
I'm glad.
Speaking of, do we have
That's gonna be me playing Railroader.jpg. Anyway.
Is this the part where we abduct him for the Pope story?
Fine, we'll do that. We'll be done with questions because we're never gonna get through them otherwise. Mickley wants to meme too hard.
Woo! Chaos!
Is the Buppy boy here?
Chaos.
Buppy
Buppy
What
boy is
is
here.
this?
Buppa booey. Buppa
Where
booey.
Railroader?
Jesus Christ.
There we
Oh
go.
boy.
Oh.
So is Pope John Paul II your dad?
If you
Shut
believe
up.
Hard enough.
Does your dad shit in the woods?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he does.
If you shit in the woods, but no one's around to hear it, did it really happen?
All right. So who wants to tell the story? Jersey,
dear God.
Jersey, you gonna tell the story?
Okay.
Before
Okay,
we
so-
get to that, I think we should bring up, because I don't think either of them heard.
Oh no.
Wouldn't it be funny, just hilarious, if Hyce got a copy of Railroader before Jersey?
I would drive to Colorado and take his computer. That is the easiest. I would drive to Colorado. I have his address. I would drive to his house. I would break in and steal his computer.
Jersey, buddy, I
Yeah.
appreciate your commitment. Don't you think it would be smarter and take less time to drive to me? And
I
beat me
don't
with
have
a
your
baseball
address
bat?
though. That is true. And I'll take the 746 while I'm at it.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will.
I'm gonna go use the
But I'll be
restroom. You guys entertain the chat with stories of railroaderisms.
No,
So
wait for him to get back.
So we'll tell the story after. We'll tell some of the stories actually. There's multiple after Mark is back. So, Bupky boy, you know me. I'll leave that eerie pressure gauge with you. I'm not evil, but I'm taking that 746. I'm taking it. You were the one who offered it, and now I'm fucking tail grabbing your ass
The
for
moment,
eternity.
the moment I get through the rest of my boxes.
The moment. The exact moment.
The exact
So-
moment. It'll
be mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be
So-
years before.
For those who don't know, Bupkis has a closet, right? Now this closet,
He's got a closet.
this closet,
Does it have a box in it?
it has
at least
many boxes.
12.
Do any of those boxes have bags?
Yes.
Goose.
He's got.
You are
No,
on thin ice.
I have seen.
There might
the
be a yellow
picture.
liquid within that bag.
I have seen a picture of this closet.
No, Mick, you
And-
saw the picture of the corner of the room where the boxes are piled to the ceiling.
That's not
That's
even a
great.
closet. That's a room.
That's the
I'll tell
corner
you
of
what.
the room.
I've got
Bruh.
classified
Oh
images
my
of
God.
Bupkis that I'm going to send to
You do.
MOWVC text right now.
You do have
So
images
so
I've got-
Bupkis
I've
has
got a
this
couple.
corner of a room filled with boxes and possibly even some bags, and it all says Lionel.
Look,
Like there's like 50
no, it doesn't all
boxes.
say Lionel. They're like banker
Yeah, like
boxes,
half
and they're
of it.
labeled.
Well,
they're
the bags
labeled
don't
with
say
letters.
Lionel.
The bags don't.
The bags do not say Lionel.
Matter of fact, the bags probably have some sort of hazardous material stamp on them.
Biohazard.
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 All of the bags go in the Lionel coin bank.
The
So,
Lionel coin bank.
Do you
I don't
actually
think-
have a Lionel coin bank?
I do.
I
have a
do.
Lionel coin bank.
I have one
Multiple still.
somewhere.
Three people in the chat have Lionel coin banks. I think that's pretty good. Now I don't think Mark has ever heard the bag story.
The bag story?
I don't know if
No,
that's
we're not telling the bag
I don't
story.
think that's on a screen.
Mark can hear this story another time.
Yeah. I think you just tell the Pope story if you already have.
All right,
And
all
then-
right. Well,
No, we were
go
waiting
in there.
for you. We were waiting for
let's
you.
go. Let's go. So, Bupkus, I'll need your help for the line. So let's okay. For context, last weekend everyone went to the East Broad Top. Mark was there. Migley was there. Woo! Goose was not there. Bupkus was there.
Sad.
And I was there, amongst various other friends of the channel. Now, there was 2 days that we were there. Bupkus was only there on Saturday, and at one point, after we had already taken our rides and stuff for the day, Mark is fiddling with a fucking guitar. Of course he is. Anyway, so there was a point where all the train rides were done, and me and Bupkus decided to head back to the train station because they were selling parts of 16 that they had taken off in the restoration, and Bupkus wanted one. So we get in the car, and we're driving down, and he folds down, and we were pulling into Orbisonia, and he folds down his sun visor. And in the sun visor, there's a picture of this old man. And I ask, "Is that your dad?" And then Bupkus says, and I quote,
No, Jersey. That's John Paul II.
and I swear to God, it was the funniest fucking thing.
We were walking over to the station from the overflow parking, and Jersey had to stop and lean on something because he was laughing so hard.
It was just
It got to the point where it was like the silent laugh. Where there's just no more sound, it's just hysterics.
Tell the part of the story where you had Jersey open up the other sun visor.
Oh
So
yeah.
Jersey was laughing really hard about it. And I was like, you think that's funny? Open the passenger side sun visor. And he opens it. And there is a palm cross in the other one that falls into his lap.
And then this son of a bitch, this fucking son of a bitch, he's like, you know what makes it funnier? And I'm already losing my shit, and I say, what? And he says, I'm not Catholic. It was so fucking funny.
And so on that day, we learned that Bupkus drives the Pope Mobile.
Yes.
Drive the Pope-mobile.
Mashallah, the Pope Mobile hath arrived.
So yes, that's what's been up with the Pope John Paul II memes in the Discord. We stick out of religion, but the fact that Pope John Paul II is Bupkis's dad, according to Jersey, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's Pope John Paul II.
Do we
Okay.
Do we point out that I drive the most beat up Toyota Corolla the world has ever seen?
Oh my god! Oh, it gets better. After we got back from the station, he was just like, and I go, oh, what's wrong? And he's just like, there's a chunk of my car missing. He's like, we left Baltimore this morning and it was there and now it's gone.
Don't need it.
If it's gone,
Didn't
I
notice it,
obviously
you don't need it.
It was so funny. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't look at another picture of Pope John Paul II ever again. Not that I would. I'll tell you what, I want to buy Bupkus one of those big cardboard cutouts of the Pope and just send it to him.
It will
So-
be permanently attached to my car if you do.
There are events coming up where we can make that happen.
There are events coming
Oh,
up.
Bupkus has to show up though.
Mark, you son of a bitch, pulling up Pope John Paul II on the
There he
stream.
is.
There he
The
is.
guy.
Dad, there he
That's
is.
Bupkis' dad.
Bupkis's
I wonder-
dad!
I wonder if he goes into the images tab if we can find the exact image.
That would be. You've almost.
Oh,
no, that's there. It's
please.
there. It's
No.
there.
It was the one of him on the balcony, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Bupkis, I'm sorry that your dad's dead.
It's fine.
My
Actually,
Father who art in heaven.
He's canonically a saint now. It's fine.
Actually,
Your dad was the Pope.
Me too.
My brain is going into bad jokes territory that we can't say on stream. So let's adjourn to playing music, shall we?
Well, hang on. I got one more thing I want to ask Bupkis. Well, of the interactions you had with us, which was your favorite, apart from the Pope?
There's. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell that one on stream, but
Make it reasonable to tell on stream, because there are a couple redacted things that happened.
I'm gonna. Nick, I think it was my first interaction with you.
Didn't I throw a lime at you?
You didn't throw a lime at me. I'm pretty sure I walked up with Jersey towards the main, and you were in the window with a gigantic camera lens poking out.
Oh god.
Hey!
Oh!
I looked and said, "Hey!" He said, "Fuck you."
And then he tried to bribe him into pissing in the
that was my next portion. How much did you try to bribe me with the piss in that fire pit?
$350.
I think it was $250.
You almost had me doing it.
And the funny bit is it was $2.50, and both of you thought it was $200.
Well, you just kept saying $250.
That was a good moment.
That was
my first interaction with you. What do you mean?
So for context, the house we were staying in has 3 stories, right? And in the attic, there's this little window in like a closet inside the dormer of the house that faces the tracks. So I'm up there sitting waiting for the train to get an overhead shot and video for the channel, which may appear, who knows. And they roll up. And I had been bugging Jersey, how much to piss in the fire pit. So Bupkis rolls up, so I start bothering him.
Does the Pope shit in the woods? I don't know, but Bupkis pisses in the fire pit.
No, I can't go there on stream.
Yep, that's enough for you guys. We're gonna go play music.
You should read your super chat.
I could do that. Discord, such a joy. Let's see. What was the last one I missed? I already muted Mickey. Mutely? Yeah, okay. Dude, I know you guys couldn't hear the guitar. I was letting them finish their story. Midland 1072 Productions. Hey, Hyce. Just wanted to say, hope you have a good night. Thanks for all the hard work and great content. Can't wait to see future videos. Thank you, Midland. Simpson Music and Productions. Evening, Hyce. William Grantham. For push to start music, could we please get some Bon Jovi? Dealer's choice. Well, is now when we realize or let everyone know that the first song that I learned on guitar was Wanted Dead or Alive. And I think I'm vaguely in tune, so we could do that. Why not? We'll start there. We'll get to 12 string. I saw that John Deere wanted that, so we'll go there too. And here comes the copyright violations. Oh, I gotta turn on guitar amps though. Shit. It's alright, it's got an intro. Oh god, this is not in tune for this. Is this really an E-flat tuning? Yes, apparently that's an E-flat tuning. Apparently my whole existence is an E-flat tuning. So we'll grab the other SG. All right, full exclusion words. Full disclosure. I don't know the guitar solo to this one. No goddamn clue. So I'm gonna try and fake it. We'll see how far I get. And I'm also not grabbing a 12 string for this intro, but it's fine. You guys can hear the guitar, yeah? How many SGs are there? There's 3. I have 3. We will play the 12 string song. Everyone, yes, can you hear the guitar? Okay, good. All right, we'll go now. Don't know that chord. Don't remember it. Harmonics!
Six string on my back.
Okay, yeah. I never actually learned all of that song. I learned, I learned the riff and then some of the chords. I actually figured out some of that on the fly. That's fine, close enough. And I get to the pinch harmonics and the solo, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't remember how to play that part. What does that song makes you want to go ride your motorcycle? I don't know. Alright. Kroom was asking all last time. I can try and futz my way through 8th of January. Let me find a guitar that I can put in open D really easily. Right. I guess we'll grab the Nova. And we'll go find my version of it. Not that I'm going to remember how to play it anyways. Do. All right. The January is the January. Why is it not in order? There it is. Oh, look, it's another one where I didn't tune the damn guitar. All right, this is going to go poorly. We'll figure it out. fuck, I vaguely remembered that. Oh, lordy. Yeah, I did not remember that M song at all. Sorry. Hopefully that satisfied Kroom. Yeah, it's in like it's in open C sharp. Yeah, Bill W. Jr. 2, that is a Civil War classic tune called 8th of January, also known as the Battle of New Orleans, when there's a vocal part to it. It's 1860s tune. It's a really old tune. Great tune. And that's my version of it from the formerly Roads Online soundtrack. Oh, God. I have pretty low-tuned guitar and I want to play with it, so just bear with me for a second. Yeah, it's something about super low down tuned. Yeah, guitar is, yeah, that's fun. Okay, another guitar, another thing. Will this guitar be featured on the other channel? It will be. This guitar has been featured on the main channel. This is my newest guitar. It's actually a custom one of one. No one else has one like it. This is my my Novo Ceres P2. I love it. It's got different pickups than any of my other ones. P90 pickups, and it does some really religious. I love this guitar. It turned out so pretty, and I get to stare at this flame maple neck. Oh, yeah, I love this guitar. At some point, we'll get through all the guitars on the other channel. Let's see. Kroom, thanks for the top chat. Glad you enjoyed it. I see Lagrange, Black Betty, Even Flow. Lagrange, I can probably fumble my way through. I can never remember Black Betty, but we can give it a shot. And Even Flow, I've never played, but we could try it. Andrew Scola just right. Crazy Train on 491. Precisely. I'd like to know if you can sing. I mean, I can. I wouldn't sing right now. My voice is shot. I sang backup vocals for Hellbot. And there's demos of me singing out there for other things. Ooh. Anyway. Grab Rosie here. And we'll see if we can get through. That's a crap ton of reverb. Come on, Hyce. Let's go find our buddy Billy. great moment with a professor. Oh god! So before we play Lagrange, I have to tell the story. So, Calculus 3, class talk about surfaces and doing bullshit math on them. We had this hilarious professor who was just a total vibe, Mr. Bridgman, Terry Bridgman. What a guy! I actually got him to throw a piece of chalk at me from across the room because I was a shithead in class. Of course, this isn't college, mind you. But excuse you. We were talking about Lagrange multipliers and Lagrange transforms and stuff in calculus, and we kept being like, "Have you the song, Bridgman? You like classic rock stuff? Like, come on!" And he's just like, he couldn't place it. We kept bugging him about it for like 2 weeks. We kept bugging him like, "You listen to the song yet?" And he's like, "No, I haven't." Finally, we ask him, "You listen to the song yet?" And he just goes, "How?" And we go, "Yeah!" Yeah.
Just let me know if you wanna go to that dreams. You got a lot of nice girls, huh?
Okay. I kind of vaguely know some of that song. Let's see. Black Betty. We can try Black Betty. That was Lagrange by ZZ Top. We can try. We can try. I'm not gonna. I can't play this song. I can already tell you that I don't know this song. We'll try it. Like I said, I can't play this one. I don't never played that riff before. Well, that was mostly a dumpster fire. William Nimmo's gonna hire me, though. You want to hear some vocals or singing? Not at 11:35 at night. I don't hate my neighbors that much, and my voice right now. We do a daytime stream when my voice is literally not recovering from a cold? Sure. We'll get there, listeners. Not tonight. Oh, Lordy. I have a neighbor on the other side of that wall. November Rain. I've never played November Rain. We could try November Rain. We could try it. We could try. I don't know. I could probably figure some of it out. It's very repetitive at the end. That slash solo is very melodic. But we finally have a song that's in E flat. Old SG or Firebird. No opinions. All right, I guess we'll go with Firebird. It's been a minute since I played it. Sounds remarkably like a Strat on the middle pickup setting, doesn't it? I don't know that solo. Alright, here's where I guess how to slash, and I will probably fail. That's apparently how you play that song. Oh yeah, Frederick Grassick. Thank you. Yeah, I've never played that song. So that was literally my first attempt at playing any of that. Close enough. They were yellow, sure. Top 5 bands, artists of all time? I guess it's hard to pick. I know Led Zeppelin and AC/DC are in that list. And then picking the other 3 would be challenging. So many good ones. Led Zeppelin and AC/DC are my 2 babes. Skinner's great, Muse is great, Pink Floyd's great, Queen's great, Rush is great, Them Crooked Vulture's great, Van Halen's great, ZZ Top's great. Finish on 12 string, we could. Kroom, I have waves of 8th of January. I could send that to you, but that's all I got. All right, let's play 12 string, and then we'll finish with. And then we can, and then we could get to AC/DC or something for a finish. That'd be a fun finish. It's in standard tuning, so we come back to this SG. Because I'm recording my album in standard tuning. So let me pull that up. Q no hearing. Yamasama YouTube Gaming. Here's $5 to keep on rocking. Thank you. Much appreciated. We're gonna play a couple more tunes. Starting with this one. Remember how I just said that whole little speech about how I was recording my album in standard tuning? False start. It's an E-flat tuning. Okay, so old SG. All right, we're changing guitars again. It's fine. It's fine. Fission mailed. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I like that guitar solo. All right. We're gonna finish with some good old fashioned AC/DC. Somebody pick. Who wants what AC/DC song? Is the extra whistle at the end of a grade crossing called? I don't know. Back in Black? We could do Back in Black. It's classic. Hell in a Bad Place to Be. Classic. Not that fun to play, though. Classic. Rock and Roll Train. Do they have a formula for placing the DPU? Probably. I never had to deal with that. Who made who? Man, some people know some of these fucking tunes. We already said we're gonna finish with AC/DC for the epitome of this stream here, Rock and Roll Train. I gotta spend a minute since I played that one. We could try and play Rock and Roll Train. I'd have the best luck with Back in Black though, or something. I've already got the normal SG on, and we've got